Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Reviews, this Raw Smackdown edition, the Unpopular Review Wrestling Show. I am one of your hosts, the executive host, joined today by Great Grand Slam Pooba and Vic. It's the trio back in action for the first time in the winter, or is it still autumn? The autumn season. How you just doing? How you just doing this weekend? Mm-hmm.
I am fantastic in here and ready to talk some Raw and Smackdown. It's a busy day today because we're doing this, and then NXT later tonight at 8 p.m. We're talking about Deadline.
Yeah, and depending on if I'm working tonight or not, I might be going live for a simulcast of that show. So
nice. It's been a while since something like that, right?
Yeah, it's actually we haven't done it since an AEW pay-per-view. I want to say almost 2 years ago, but as we consistently try to get to our 1K goal, which we're 4 away, I'm thinking about going ahead and doing it if the bar doesn't call me today to work security. So what's up? Big Daddy Cool is in the chat. He says, welcome back to Vic. Vic's first time since the summertime. What time is the NXT live stream? I'm assuming it'll be 8 o'clock because that's what NXT deadline is on. And then immediately after that, I believe we're doing a post show. Am I correct? Correct, Great Grand Slam Pooba. So looking forward to that with Wrestling Doll and Great Grand Slam Pooba. Let's get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. Busy week for WWE. I was saying it in the chat room last night. I'm going to go ahead. What's going on, Jeffrey? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mention it again for all the public to see. What a time it is to be a fan of WWE. You may not appreciate it, but you should appreciate it because they put together a fantastic SmackDown, in my opinion, last night, and a pretty good Raw on Monday. And that's not to discount Monday Night Raw, but it's always 3 hours. 3 hours is hard. But this amount of talent they have on those rosters is amazing. Starts off the night on Monday, Drew McIntyre coming out, talking about, his normal shit of what he's upset about, leading to a match with Sami Zayn, which was a really decent match, and he absolutely destroyed Sami Zayn in this match. And then after, what are your thoughts when it comes to Drew McIntyre's heel turn, this match with Sami Zayn? And the rumor has it, as we reported in our Instagram channel, that Sami Zayn asked for some time off, which is granted, which will explain a lot of why he was beat down so much on Monday Night Raw. What's your opinions and thoughts? Bad Guy Jack, I know you like to be introduced. We'll start with you. What do you have to say when it comes to this particular segment?
I thought it was well done. He had the mic. He said, and too, one of the things about wrestling, if you could get people to talk, you're doing something. So when Drew says, oh, I guess you could get fired, do whatever you want, and then be brought back, and everyone going like, hey, didn't you do that, you hypocrite? I think he did his job very well. They had a solid match. I mean, you got two great talents, Drew, Sammy. And I feel like in this match, you get to see, you saw Drew actually, his heel turn was complete. You might have said, well, last week it was when he headbutted Seth. But in this particular match, he told Seth, he said, I could have won the match. I could have ended you, but I had remorse because of your daughter. This match, he had no remorse for Sammy. He said, I don't care about your kids. I don't care about you. Keep my name out your mouth, and the truth will set you free. That's his new catchphrase now. It's going to be on the shirt. They will set you free. It sounds like a commercial that plays right after the lady who used to say, I could tell your fortunes, and then she was revealed to be a liar. Forgot her name. Cleo. That's who it was. Cleo. Yeah. Cleo. So, but I thought it was well done. And Drew going heel. It's going to be good, and I think it's going to refresh him up a little bit because him and the babyface stuff, and there's a lot of babyfaces where he's just going down the line. And even though on Raw, the number one babyface is Judgment Day, but as single, I want to say, you don't think so?
The Judgment Day are the number one babyface?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you see why I'm wearing glasses. You know what?
It's because you can't see, period.
I am a John Cena fan, but right, heels. I meant to say heels. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So, Vic, take the floor, please.
Well, I mean, like everybody says, Sammy needs some time off, and whatever he's, his whole character is like, it's going stale. You know what I'm saying? It's not. He still has some of the crowd, but there really no direction for him ever since he dropped the title. So right now is a good time to, let him take a little vacation. And truth be told, out of all the rumors and all of that people have been talking about, you know, a lot of this stuff where people are getting more time off and all of that, might it be because of Triple H's little health stint? You know, so no, he's having you know, he's looking at it a little bit differently than Vince would, because Vince will just try to run you to the ground. You know, I've heard that from meeting some wrestlers and getting autographs and things like that. In conversation, be like, Vince will just, you know, try to use you as much as he can. I don't think Triple H is the same. So Sammy definitely needs some time off. And the thing with this is, like, they kind of had like a little baby, because I think they're giving Drew McIntyre like a tweener type of thing, where he could be pissed off and mad and sadistic, but then go to Scotland and tear the roof off. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the direction that they're going with him, and I like it. I like it because, like, really, ever since, you know, his COVID era championship, there really isn't much going on outside of that match that he had with Roman. So I'm very curious to see what they do with him. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Hey, Charmaine, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Twitter thing, because he does come out. I notice he still kind of slap hands a little bit, kind of interacts with the crowd. It's kind of like the counterpart on Smackdown, which Bobby Lashley. Like, is he a heel or is he a face? And I'm going to talk more about that coming up on when we talk about Smackdown. But you know, Sami Zayn definitely deserves the time off. I mean, ever since he came back, I think the last time he's been working nonstop. He was the MVP, arguably last year. Big part of the Bloodline storyline. He was just on every single week. So he needs the time off. I think he could take the time off because he is a strong babyface, and his bad guy Jack I thought he was alluding to, and he was talking about heels. They are very babyface heavy on Monday Night Raw between Cody Rhodes. I'm more than positive CM Punk is signing on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins, of course, the World Heavyweight Champion. Main event Jey Uso, who in my opinion, I still think is arguably the most over babyface on Monday Night Raw. So, you know, Sami Zayn can take the time off. There's not really much for him to do at this time. I hope he rests up. I hope he heals himself and comes back with a fresh set of mind and fresh things. Steve wants to say, hey, guys, I know you got sources. Do you believe the rumors that Sami Zayn is taking time off to get side money as a mall Santa?
You stupid.
This is the best review show ever. Great to see y'all. Hand pink waving. Thank you so much for that. Who you think can beat Logan Paul? I think it's going to be LA Knight. I think that's the only person that deserves to get a chance at that. Yeah, and everyone does want to face Roman, but he's the champion. That's what you could expect. Jeffrey must have thought that was funny. Next thing we're going to talk about is Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler, a match I completely disagree with happening. Vic, we're going to start off with you. Nia Jax, let's long and short it. Nia Jax picks up the victory in this particular match. Do you think this is good for Nia Jax? Do you think this hurts Shayna Baszler? What's going on?
Nia Jax is the female Braun Strowman. Like, they need a monster in the girls division, and like they're setting her up for the Royal Rumble. I can't wait to see her come out. Because, you know, I don't think she's going to win it, but she's definitely going to be a threat, and they're definitely going to do something to try to get her out and make it a big thing, right? I've been a Nia Jax fan for a long time. You know, the only problem with her, unfortunately, is that, you know, she has hurt people. You know what I mean? But I think that just her being, having like a person like her just do like the Yokozuna in the women's division is incredible. You know what I mean? And the thing with Shayna Baszler is just that, like, that matchup is interesting because they got history together, and then somebody that big like Shayna Baszler makes it difficult for Shayna Baszler to do all of her little moves, her little, like, you know what I mean? She's so it's interesting because I'm into it, just because of the people that are into it. You know what I mean? But yeah. I don't know how big it is, but as far as helping Nia Jax, I think it just makes her look good and ready for the Rumble.
One thing I'll be remiss in saying is before this match started, Nia Jax had an encounter with Becky Lynch backstage. Becky Lynch came out after this match was over and attacked Nia Jax. Looks like they're going to go down that angle as they, you know, I've said this before. In my opinion, Becky Lynch's WrestleMania opponent is going to be Rhea Ripley. They've been holding them off for so freaking long. I think that's definitely the way they're going to go. But the question was, how do we keep Becky and Rhea from meeting each other? Because what else do we have for them to do? This is a good way to get that sideline. But I also believe that Nia Jax is going to go for a run-in with Rhea Ripley very soon because that's how she came back. She attacked Rhea Ripley, attacked the women's world champion. And I still think that's your Royal Rumble match. But this keeps her looking strong, but I think it does hurt Jada Baszler a little bit because they want to make her seem like a badass. And she did a good job in this match. Don't get me wrong.
But wait a minute. If Rhea faces Becky Lynch, right? Because the thing is, I think that Rhea beats Becky Lynch and they just solidify Rhea as being on top even more. If they go that direction, right? Because the thing is, I don't see a reason to put a strap on Becky anymore. I really don't. I mean, it was fun in NXT. It was a good time. But I don't see a reason for that. And the same thing with Charlotte Flair. Like, I don't see a reason for them to put a strap on them. Like, Rhea Ripley, like, my question is, will Mommy still be on top if she has no strap?
I think so. She's very much over.
That's a very interesting phrase for that. But I will say
the wording was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
I don't think she needs the championship. I agree with Bad Guy Jack on this one. I think she is so over. She is arguably, this is what I'm saying, it's a really good time to be a WWE fan. She is arguably one of the most recognizable and over wrestlers in WWE, let alone the entire wrestling world right now. They chant her. They chant her anytime. I think it was on NXT. I was watching NXT and Dom was out there and they were chanting, "We want mommy." I think she was on Smackdown last night and they were chanting, "We want mommy," and mommy wasn't even there. Right? She's a heel who gets cheered.
Yep.
But I don't want her to turn face because she's better as a heel right now. It works better for her to be a heel, not as a face. A face, I think it kills a lot of momentum. But I disagree with you on this one, Mark. I definitely believe that Becky should win that championship at WrestleMania from Rhea Ripley. I think at that time, the title reign will come full circle. I don't think that dominance needs to happen. I think it can continue. And then I believe, in my opinion, that Rhea will be transferred over to SmackDown so she can finally begin a feud with one
Bianca.
Yeah. That's what I believe. But we can talk about a Bad Guy Jack on you.
Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, Rhea. What were we talking about? Oh, this match with Shayna and Nia. This was this match with Nia. I was saying to myself, I was like, oh, this is the most competitive match she had. Usually a lot of these matches end in a quick fashion. I saw in the chat that Jeffrey said that Shayna does not feel like a threat anymore, and I do want them to cook her up, but I did feel like they still did make her feel strong in this match because she didn't just get dominated. She just didn't win. The spot where she went for the German the German spot and Nia fell on her. I said, ooh, that could have probably ended the match right there. And you were saying some things, and so I guess my question right now is, okay, so we're going to Becky versus Nia, right? Nia would probably have to win because she's going against Rhea eventually, and then Rhea beats her and stuff like that. But it was fine. I thought Shayna looked fine. I just hope that
you're talking about what the German suplex did look brutal. People
gruesome
online were, blaming Nia Jax for that. It's not Nia Jax's fault that Shayna could not pick her up as much as she wanted to pick her up. So let's not blame Nia on that. You
know what though? The thing is, I feel like people expect Nia Jax to hurt people now.
Right. It's the expectation because she does look sloppy and she does look rough, and she still does actually. But somehow she is well respected by the people backstage. I always love Nia Jax. Nia Jax gets a lot of heat.
She's got the rub though. We all
she got because of her cousin, but she gets a lot of heat also. When she gets on that mic, people pay attention.
Yeah.
When she comes out, people pay attention.
Yep.
She is a presence.
Well, I mean, look, she's definitely got the mean girl
song.
She's like, as far as like her attitude goes.
Oh yeah, no, she nails it.
She's I think she sucks as a face. As a heel, though,
she's not that good as a face now.
As a heel, though, I think she's really good.
I think after that experiment, they knew not to put her as a face.
I think she's a strong presentation and representation of who she truly is. I think that's why. I think she is a little bit of a dick backstage, or has that presence. I definitely believe that. And I'm not just saying that because I've seen episode 2 of her on Total Divas. I just think that's really her persona. Just like I always said, I think Seth Rollins' persona.
She was good on Total Divas too. You know what I mean?
She's
Listen, don't get me wrong.
not about the bullshit.
She could get it. You know what I mean? That's really
don't let the technician hear you say that.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's but
people have to be here
that can't handle that kind of thickness. You heard me? So
negative.
You know what I mean? So he can go away with that. But honestly, like I didn't think she was gonna come back. I'm happy that she's back. Like I said before, I
was happy. Hey, when I went to Royal Rumble earlier this year in San Antonio, I popped when she came out at number 30. I was legitimately happy to see her. And I knew she would be coming back sooner or later. Next match we're going to talk about is the DIY versus Imperium 2 out of 3 falls match. Match I wasn't as invested in, but hey, these 4 gentlemen are going to put on a good match, which they did. Of course, DIY, of course, shout out to King Vaughn, picked up the victory. I'm not liking where this is going. I think this is Imperium. What are you about to ask?
Yeah, I was going to ask. Is it because of Imperium?
Yeah, I see a shift in Imperium. I don't know what's going on. I don't see Gunther as much. Over the last month and a half, if you notice, Gunther has not really been out there as much, except for his little program he had with The Miz. But he's usually backstage. Now, I'm not sure if he's injured or what, but he has not been out there in front of the crowd. That's one. 2, it's always been Giovanni and Wick now, and you notice they have new music, which is horrible. But they're at odds. And I feel like this is going to be the conclusion of the Imperium faction, and I'm not here for that.
Nope.
Great Grand Slam, Pluto. We'll start with you. What are your opinion when it comes to
this match? I mean, these guys put on their working boots. Giovanni Vinci. He got a lot of credit for that springboard moonsault. The guy's is a freak athlete. And you knew he was going to get a good quality match. I don't like
he used to do that in NXT. People act like they've never seen him do that before. But when he was an NXT competitor, when they left him, he was doing a good job. And I told you plenty of times before, like the reason he left him there is so they can build a character with him.
Right.
But it was great.
No, but I mean, that's great that you say all that. As much as, and I'm the NXT guy, I do the review show. Now everyone watched NXT, so they were impressed by what they saw out of him. But people like you, me, Vic, seen him plenty of times, and even still impressive. But I don't like Imperium breaking up. For one, I think they're better together and they have a better chance together. And also, 2, right now, you were saying earlier about how it's so great to be a WWE fan, right? And I agree to that. I mean, there's a lot of steam going on, but their tag team division has been getting stronger. And then you have Indashare, you have DIY, you have Three Brothers. You said who to who? Oh, Indashare?
Who?
That's the team with Jinder Mahal. There's a team with Sexy Singer.
They're around?
Yep.
I didn't know they were around. I did not know
they were there. They were there last week. I have my sources. But they were there last week.
Yeah, no,
and they're not on as much, but I'm still saying they're a team.
Right,
and you can throw it out them. Yeah, I'm gonna count them. But Imperium is also should be in there, and they've been teasing this breakup for I don't know how many months. Wasn't a fan the first time they did it. Gunther was backstage yelling at Wick. If you looked in the back, I forget what segment it was. You saw him yelling at him because now WWE's new thing is you gotta look in the back and you'll see an Easter egg, something happening, and I think that's fantastic. But them breaking up, not fantastic. And I just got a headache for yelling.
Vic, on you.
Well, the rumor mill is that Gunther has like some visa issues and has some traveling issues and things like that, right?
Well, let's dispel that rumor because he's been on Monday Night Raw. He just has not been out in the crowd. So unless they're taping everything in one, then that can't be.
Oh, you mean like he doesn't have a visa to be in front of the crowd?
I mean,
no, it's just something with him because I noticed
he lives here.
Yeah, he do. Does he live in Florida?
He lives here.
In your house? Y'all roommates?
I remember hearing like recently, and it was connected to like him wanting to stay in the UK, and that was one of the reasons why he was champion in the UK for such a long time, and blah blah blah. Anyway, that was just part of the rumor mill that I heard. Right.
All right.
So the other thing with this is like I personally feel like
Mad Dog is
holding the singles titles. Like they're just like putting them on hold and not necessarily having that many matches with them, right? And like I feel like they started to do that as of Survivor Series, with Logan Paul, because I feel like Logan Paul is gonna hold on to that title and go on this, um, just promo all over the place, but not actually defend it or do anything on TV. Same thing with Gunther. I think that for a while he's gonna just be off TV, and they're gonna like treat these guys like Roman Reigns, where they're just super special. Especially Gunther now that he has his 1,000 day off and whatever. His 1,000 day. I mean, is it 1,000 day? Wait, no, it's 500 days.
1,000 day off.
No, 1,000 day of being champion. Excuse me.
That's better than the Roman Reigns contract.
No, he's like 500 days of being champion, so now he's a special attraction. Now he's like a big thing. He beat the Miz and all of that, and he doesn't have any challengers right now. Doesn't have anybody that's like
his wife is Jenny. Come on, Big Daddy. Like, come on, man.
He paid a woman to marry him to get. Yeah.
Let me dispel the rumor real quick. He did not want to move to the United States originally, which is why he stayed in NXT UK, which is they were fine because they wanted to build that brand and he was a good attraction for that brand. When they got rid of NXT UK, he actually was more amenable to moving over to the United States, which he did. He moved in down here to Florida along with Wick and Giamatti. They all live here in Orlando. They got themselves together. They got themselves in shape. That's where the poor Gunther thing, if I'm hearing shoot tweet came out, all that stuff. So he lives here. So there's no visa issues. And like I said, he's there in the arenas. They just don't bring him on the crowd. But what you say is a good point because they have not been having to focus on any of the singles titles with the exception of the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's an interesting point that you mentioned there. Vic, I heard you paid a woman. Oh God, I can't believe I said that. No, I'm late. You're right on time. His wife is a former superstar, Steve. LOL, Jeannie. Next match we're going to talk about is Natalya and Tegan Nox versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And this match, I wasn't a fan, but I was a fan in the ending, if that makes sense. I was a fan of the move that Chance and Carter used in order to put away Natalya and Tegan Nox, if anybody remembers. But I think Chance was on top of Carter's shoulders. And then it was a fantastic move, never seen before. But Kaden Chance is Kaden Carter and Katana Chance are very innovative, so they're really good at what they do, and I appreciate it. And I like to see them get a push because they got called up to the main roster about 7-8 months ago, and they've practically done nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Great.
Natalya is there just train at this point. You can just tell she's an ordinary trainer. And I've never been a fan of Tegan Nox. I'm sorry. I think she's a very nice person, but I've never been a fan of Tegan Nox, and I'm not exactly sure why they always feel the need to try to push her and keep her around. She does not work on the main roster. She barely worked in NXT. Gentlemen, we'll start with you, Great Grand Slam Pooh, but what are your thoughts when it comes to this match and these four competitors?
I feel like this match was definitely a highlight on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Show what they can do. Like you mentioned, called up months ago, haven't been used. And when you see the moves, like how you mentioned the on the shoulder flip, 840, 69, 1992, the fans are going to be impressed by that. And it's good. Cook them up, heat them up. I think they're your next women tag team champions, and this person's face is all in there. Like, you look at just all right there. Look at the face.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Good, Chris. Yeah. But yeah, good for them to get the win, cook them up, make them seem like they have a chance at these titles. So yeah, good stuff.
What do you have to say, Vic?
Well, number one,
I don't care.
Natty, because Natty is
a mute.
She's somebody. She's the equivalent of like the guys that run out to break out the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Security.
She's like Jason Jordan and Jamie Noble at this point for the women's division.
Yeah.
What I love about her is just that she's at like she's like like Terry Funk. Like she's just old already. Like she should have been left already, right?
Oh my god!
But the shit is that like,
oh my goodness!
But the shit is just that her heart is so big that she is constantly trying to help people improve, and she does that with the choices of the matches that she does. She's very reliable, and she's not ever in anybody's storylines or anything like that. She's always taking the L. And will just help people improve. You know, I mean, personally, I think she's perfect for NXT because then her traveling would be a lot lighter. But the reality is that like she's not somebody that's gonna get somebody big. And look, in this match, you can see it. Everybody there is probably half her age. You know what I mean? So like,
how old do you think Natalya is?
40s,
you know, Vic. I know.
Hold on, Vic.
She's been there. She's been there.
Right now, I'm about to start calling you.
You know how long you call you?
I know what it is.
I'm about to start calling you Wilkins because you're acting like Natalya is like.
Natalya's been around since. Like,
and somebody in the chat can let us know how old Natalya is. I think she's
probably 39. 39.
I think she's like 43.
She's like Mickey James.
No, she's like 39, 40. First off, Vic thinks everyone's old at this point. I mean,
barely, right?
Yeah, right. You know, before we even started the show, guys, he was already like, yeah, you know, got her up the big gay on the arm, lay down.
You know,
she's 41. Oh, she's 41.
Icy hot. I gotta need some icy hot because my knees hurt.
She's 41. There you go. No wonder.
There you go.
He couldn't even get up.
Okay, well, here's a fun fact. Oscar's 42. Oscar's 42. How about that?
Oscar's 42.
Oscar's 42.
Can't tell that because there's no wonder she always put makeup on.
But she doesn't always wear makeup, sir.
No,
she only wears makeup when she comes out to wrestle.
Once again,
she doesn't usually have makeup.
This episode should be Vic thinks everyone's old. If you're over 30, you're over the hills, baby.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with being old, man.
She said Natalya, she's wrestling people half her age.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, looking at a tree, right? And the tree.
I know she made. No, but here's the thing. Vic even said, you know, she's like Terry Funk. Okay, Terry Funk was like 70. Like,
Terry Funk was wrestling when he became middle aged and crazy. Terry Funk was wrestling at 55, 56.
That's ECW, right?
And that's gonna be Natty.
Oh,
bro. Listen, in 10 years, she's still gonna be there. And she's gonna.
Is that what you're gonna call her, Ric Flair?
That will call her.
What do you think Ric Flair is?
Ric Flair's 74.
No, I know he's 74, but I'm in Vic's world. What do you think about Ric Flair?
Ric Flair's like a Roman god, like you know what I mean. He's
a Roman guy. Roman guy. Oh my! I'm about to drop this floor. I'm about to drop this floor.
His dance is annoying to me because even when he does a strut, he looks like he's about to. Like, Ric Flair, if he looks so stiff, he like, it's just terrible.
It always look like Ric Flair's trying to reach for the salt on the table.
Billy Starks just turned 19 yesterday. I don't even want to click this thing on Steve. I can't even see it, but anyway, let's go. What's up with this ageism? Natty is beautiful. Natty is beautiful.
She is beautiful. Listen, I'm literally just appreciating her work ethic.
Was that a fly?
I think it was.
She helps put everybody over. And mind you, the thing I respect about her the most, I remember that time right after her father died.
Okay, that flies winning.
Business with Sasha Banks.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like I'll never forget that. But anyway, when it comes to this match, it's just Natty being Natty, putting other people over.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we got a lot more Monday Night Raw and Friday Night Smackdown to talk about. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Now, also, I said, Tony, I need you to be careful, Tony. I said that, right? I said, Tony, you got edge over here. Right? Every little bit of things that pick up is why people was calling it All Elite WWE. It's a reason why they called it that. But a lot of people that was beloved by Triple H, and that Triple H got over, Triple H guys, was being helped by Vince McMahon's older way of thinking about what ran for him for so many years and worked for him. Sometimes he couldn't get out of his own way. Tony Khan, who needs to figure out how to pay what he got, because right now, he has put himself probably in a corner. Yeah, Tony, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you. Please don't hate me for telling the truth. But you got all these guys over here. They got the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt, that they don't feel like they're fitting in anymore. Punk then left. Jade then gone. Cody then gone. Who is next to the Fed? All Elite WWE is now coming the way it was, reversing. I'm being honest here, Tony. You had a great remedy of WWE talent with new people and people that no one's heard of, and you kind of just let things kind of run like Eric Bischoff in a sense. Maybe they're not running their own shows, but it kind of feels like it at times with booking, with questionable booking, guys coming in, forgetting about other guys. Warlow was supposed to be your guy. That was your guy. Warlow was your guy. How was Warlow? Can't never get over the man that had 4 different hairdos. Warlow's not even important anymore. And then when it comes to MJF, who I'm a wholly big fan of, right? But you better be careful. Because who is next? You got the Hardy Boys saying they're not welcome. Keith Lee's not getting like he was supposed to. His boy's in charge. Rusev was mentioned to me today yesterday to me by the executive consultant on the lookout. Malachi Black. These are Triple H guys that now that he's in charge, can you imagine this? Can you imagine Andrade back over there, him and Escobar, Santo Escobar together? I'm just saying, All Elite Wrestling, All Elite WWE. Tony, I hope you can figure this out, because if not, my brother.
That is the Mike Knott Show, which you can Monday at 6:00 p.m. You are watching an Unpopular Review, Raw and Smackdown, the Unpopular Review Wrestling Show. I am the executive consultant. That's Great Grand Slam. Puba up there is also. Make sure that you are loving, and sharing this to all of your wrestling timelines and groups. And if you're not following us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get your cousin, your dog, your fish, your alien friend, ET. Get them all to subscribe to that channel today. Let's go ahead and continue to talk about Monday Night Raw. Next thing we're going to talk about is Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, coming out to discuss his issues he has with Shinsuke Nakamura. Long story short, Shinsuke said they had parallel careers. Which I think was a little far-fetched. It was a little forced for him to say that.
And I am confused by this because was Nakamura part of the Bullet Club?
Nakamura was never part of the Bullet Club.
I don't see the comparison at all. Oh, I'm done. You can take the floor.
So, that being said, leads to a match coming up next Monday. Are we excited about this match, yes or no? Vic, on you.
Yeah, sure. We'll see. I mean, clearly this is just to get Cody Rhodes over. They keep getting Cody Rhodes over. And that's all it's really about. I mean, and to put Shinsuke in a captivating match. I mean, because happy for Shinsuke because they're booking him better. They're making him see. I like his heel run. You know what I'm saying? I think it's good. I
think it's rejuvenated his career a lot. The problem is finding suitable, credible talent for him to face, because when he's fighting, it depends on his level is a different level. What I mean by that is when he's fighting Cody or Seth, you're like, he's not on that level yet. So he's automatically going to take the L. But then he fights like a Ricochet or unfortunately a Chad Gable or something. You're like, well, he's a little above them. So he's going to pick up the W. It's just too obvious when he's in the match if he's going to take the W or L, but at least he's being used. And as I've always said, they've always at least tried to use Shinsuke in some shape, way, or form. They've always liked him. He is a very decorated athlete in WWE alone, let alone everywhere else he's been. So that's my opinion. But the segment was just trying to set up what they had to do for Monday Night Raw. The real thing we want to talk about are the Creed brothers versus Dominic.
Hey! You didn't ask me how I felt about this.
I thought you were saying it at the beginning, but go ahead. Go ahead and speak your point.
I don't really have much of a point.
I didn't think so. Yeah. Creed brothers versus Dom Mysterio and JD McDonough, the Judgment Day, along with R-Truth outside.
The best part of the Judgment Day,
because he bought him a TV and everything. Oh my God, that TV had me pop so hard, laughing so hard.
Didn't it remind you back in the day when you were a kid?
Flat screen. Well, he said almost flat screen. I started crying. Yeah, it did remind me. You know what? Truth be told, we wanted those TVs back in the day, larger TVs, right? And I still feel like sometimes those larger TVs that it had with the floor models and stuff are bigger than the 75 inches that Walmart gives us. Pulse. The Walmart or Best Buy or any of these places give us. I just feel like the floor models are big. I feel like the floor models are bigger.
No, they're bigger, and you know what the thing is? They got big asses. But as far as the
big asses
screen goes, because I literally just threw one out yesterday, and what it is just that it's the big backside. But as far as the screen goes, nah, they're bigger. They're bigger now.
Ricochet actually had sustained an injury in the last match he's had. They just haven't publicized it, but he's going to be out for a little while. He should be back in a couple weeks though.
Oh, that's why he's out?
Yeah. He got injured. They had him under concussion protocol. Creed brothers are fantastic, and they go out there every week and prove why they are one of the best tag teams in wrestling right now. I'm not just talking about WWE. I'm not just talking about Raw. I'm talking about overall in wrestling. They're one of the greatest tag teams. I've never seen them have a bad match. They continue to impress each and every single week. And I know this is because they're pushing them on Raw because they understand what they have there. And I hope, not saying it's going to happen, but I hope when they get their title shot against the Judgment Day in a few weeks, they are going to take those titles away from the Judgment Day. I feel like the Creed brothers, I feel like it's their time. Julius Creed and Brutus Creed, fantastic. EC, stop trying to make the Creed brothers a thing. I don't have to. They are a thing. Even when they come out, and I'll give you this, Steve, and then we're going to turn it over to Great Grand Slam. when they come out, you can hear a pin drop a lot. They're not that popular when they come out. But by the end of every single one of the matches they've had now, they are getting cheered and standing ovation. This is awesome chance because they are good at what they do.
That's true.
So as much of a hater you are, because you are a freaking hater, right? Because you don't like good people.
He likes me.
You are going to realize exactly my point. You are going to realize
such a dick
that they are the future of the tag team division in WWE. They are going to take the spot of the Usos. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can I talk? Because you go in this monologue and then you like, hey, you can have the floor and then take the floor from me. And then I fall. The Creed Brothers, I wanted to pick on some of the things that you said. You said some great things there. When they come out, they don't get that reaction. So here's the thing with the Creeds, right? I'm on social media and I will look at the comments, and I've seen a lot of people who did not watch NXT, and they say, I don't know nothing about these Creed brothers, but they the real deal. And I think also, too, when after the match, when you have JD tell Damian, like, nah, they're the real deal, that's putting them over just little by little. Finn did that the week before, and I think they do a good job on that. Now, do I think they should win the tag titles? My concern is, my big question I always ask is it too much too soon? And I don't know if we put the titles on them. It's looking that way, but I don't know if that's I would go that route. That's all.
They remind me of like the second coming of FTR, of the revival.
Really?
Yeah, because like they got a lot of good moves. They have captivating matches, and FTR has very captivating matches. But
I agree with that, Shay.
I think that putting the straps on them right away is kind of just giving everybody what they want. But I believe that they're better off getting some kind of storyline going in. Personally, I would rather see the Street Profits take the straps off of the Judgment Day, and then just kind of solidify Bobby Lashley as, this leader or whatever. You know what I mean? But because there's more story to that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Creed brothers, I think they definitely deserve some type of shine. Because the other thing with this is like, because my question, and this is what I don't know, are they homegrown like Bianca Belair?
Yeah.
Yes. Majority of the people you're going to see going forward are going to be homegrown. That's
from the Performance Center. Yeah.
So look, if that's the case, then that might be where this is moving forward. So if they do put it on the Creed brothers. If they do put it on the Creed brothers, then they finally should change.
And I think, and I was going to mention that when you were finished, I think you'll appreciate that because we already know the rumors are, and I know this to be a fact, it's true, that they have new tag team championships back there. They just haven't debuted them on screen yet. And I feel like it's just waiting for Judgment Day to lose the championships. And there's no better team to have the new titles than there will be the Creed brothers by giving them on a brand new tag team. And so I feel like that's all they're waiting for. So I feel like the Judgment Day, and I told Great Grand Slam Pooba, I feel like a lot of the championships in Judgment Day are coming to an end. I feel like the tag team titles are going to be gone sometime in the next few weeks. I feel like the NXT North American Championship, I feel like it was going to be tonight with
Dragon.
With
Wes. Yeah.
I felt like it was going to be tonight, it was going to be Wesley, but now it's going to be Dragon Lee. I'm not so sure, but after last night, I'm not as sure again. I was solidly on Dirty Dom's side. But now I'm thinking they might actually give it to Dragon Lee, which I think is a terrible move, but whatever, we'll see.
It's funny, we did a prediction show not that long ago, and I wanted to say this on the show. No matter who wins between Dragon and Dom, it's going to be on the main roster, and I'm just kind of over it being on the main roster now.
Correct.
I think
I'm not a fan of that.
I don't mind it when it's for a little bit, but when it's been months. Correct. I'm ready for this title to be brought back. And credit to you. I mean, you've given Dom a lot of flowers. I'll give him flowers, too. He's done a great job putting some eyes on that championship.
He's had it for a while now.
Yeah, was it somewhere in the spring?
He should have.
Yeah,
he won it, I want to say, in June or July.
Okay.
He's had it since then. That's
right.
I don't mind the occasion, like when New Day won the NXT Tag Team Championships and stuff like that.
And they didn't even hold it that long.
Yeah, you don't. I don't feel like you put some shine on it. You put a team over or a person over, and it's fine. Like Becky Lynch kind of did that. Cool.
She did a great job with that too.
I don't think she should have. I don't think she should have be Tiffany Stratton, but that's fine. But Dirty Dom did it, but he just kept beating everybody, right? But at the same time, I always said, and then we got to move on. I always said that I feel like the reason how come he did it is because, realistically speaking, outside of Wesley, I don't like Wesley, but outside of Wesley, I don't see anybody in that NXT roster who can put the shine and the prestige on that championship like Dominic Mysterio. What he did, the progression he's had more and more over the last year has been amazing. We'll talk more about that another time. But next match we're going to talk about was the main event, and I thought one of the better matches of the week of any brand, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite. Collisions happens tonight, if I can remember. Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was a fantastic match. Fantastic match between these two. First of all, Seth Rollins, is still phased from Mello. He does not miss, right? I don't really see bad Seth Rollins matches, especially now, especially this year. Don't really see him. He needs to be a contender for Wrestler of the Year. Jey Uso, who I said earlier, I'll say again, I think is one of, if not the most over superstar in the WWE right now, did a fantastic job. I was a fan of the finish as in this. Seth Rollins should still retain the World Championship. Completely agree. I was not a fan of the finish as in I felt like it made Jey Uso look weak because he hit his finishing move twice. 2 times, and then he got stomped in the head and he lost. I was not a fan of that. I felt like they could have did my man better. Vic, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts?
Oh, my.
Well, I think that little by little, they're solidifying Jey Uso more as a singles competitor because for a long, I mean, listen, man, he's one of the greatest tag teams of all time. The guy's a twin, and they're doing everything in their power, I guess, to kind of just give him the singles rub. But the reality of the situation is that I personally don't ever think that he's ever going to get a singles title past a mid-card title. I don't see the mic skills in him to do that, like a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? I don't see that. A mid-card title, yes, but I don't see him. Now, he definitely got the crowd behind him, but a lot of that is because of the storyline, not necessarily because of him himself. Because the thing is that it's for a very long time, it's very, very, very difficult to differentiate between the two because the two were always a unit for over a decade. So it's definitely going to take some time. So now with this match, it literally just solidified him because wow, man. But at the same time, Seth Rollins knows how to make anybody look good. Seth Rollins is the man for that. I mean, which is definitely something that I understand why Triple H put the title on him almost a decade ago, because after when they broke up the Shield, because now I definitely see it. The guy is just that damn good, and he did it with Cody Rhodes, did it with Kevin Owens, you know what I mean? There are all these people and now look, and Jey. Oh, he had to get that. I heard about that Yeats thing. That's hilarious. But Jey Uso. I mean, and here's the truth. I personally, when people would say things about how the Usos split up and this and that and whatever, I always thought the Street Profits were split up before the Usos. That's something that I never saw coming. So a lot of this right here is just shocking to me. But I don't ever see Jey Uso being the one. I don't see Jey Uso being the tribal chief, is what I'm trying to say. I definitely don't see it. I don't see that being anybody than Roman. However, I could be wrong because I never saw the Usos splitting up. So
I think we have another tribal chief at this point. It's going to be Solo. And we'll talk more about that when we get to SmackDown. Great Grand Slam. What you got?
Great match by these two. I loved what they did for Jey when they had the vignettes, the promo, and he's saying before Undisputed Tag Team Champions, before Uso Penitentiary, before the face paint, it was just me. Loved how they did that, hyped it up, made it feel like he had a chance. I think we all knew he wasn't going to win. That was a great showing. Now, I'm glad that you said that about the two finish. He hit his finish twice and Seth still kicked out. I'm not a fan of killing someone's finish. I was just talking to a friend yesterday when I was saying hey, there was this match with Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior, and I think he hit the elbow drop 10 times and Ultimate Warrior still kicked out. I don't like things like that. I know which one.
7.
Okay, WrestleMania 7, and that's when if he lost, he had to retire. Correct? Okay, the historian right there. We might have to go to the executive historian. I don't know why you got consulted. What have you consulted? But yeah, good job on it. And you're saying some things too, Vic. You're saying about Jay and Mike's skills. I don't have a problem when he talks on the mic. I don't mistake him for The Rock or Miz or anything like that. But I think he do an okay job when he's on the mic. But I also sit here and say this: the man is over, and when he does, and that audience, I don't. I didn't see on Monday if it was the same. Like, I know when he did in SummerSlam, the scene was just incredible. So I say that all to say is I haven't seen it dwindle down when he does. Like,
it hasn't dwindled down, and more people were in his corner on Monday than Seth Rollins.
Okay,
so keep that in mind.
My whole thing is this, right?
Sure,
he's over, but he's not LA Knight over.
I think he's more over than LA Knight.
No,
yeah, LA Knight feel like he's cooled down though. He really has. I mean, even right now it's small, but with Randy Orton, it seems kind of gigantic. If that makes sense. I mean, because like even when you brought back Randy Orton, so WWE, I think they have a nice list of baby faces, right? Cody, Seth, and that's just on Raw, right? But then you have Randy, LA Knight, but I can name all these baby faces, but I'm saying, where would you put? Is LA Knight going to be in that top 5, that top 10? That you get what I'm saying?
Top 10. He's definitely in the top 10. Top 5 is debatable. And that's something we can talk about at the end of it, and we can do it at the very end of the show. Let's rank them. Your top 5. Sure. If you're in WWE, you have that roster. Who are your top 5 starting lineup as far as baby faces? I'm really interested in that. Long story short, Drew McIntyre came out, beat up both men, especially Jey Uso, because he has this strange obsession with Jey Uso, but does not want to. Even though everybody else can go to SmackDown, Cody Rhodes, he can just show up what he was, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Yeah. Seth, Drew McIntyre can't go over there and get in Solo Sikoa, who's the real person who cost him the championship's face, because he doesn't want that work. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown, which I think was phenomenal. Can't wait to talk about it. Stay with us. You're watching unPOPULAR Review.
Wesley, the greatest North American champion. I know we disagree, and that's fine because I'm just right. That's okay. It's revealed that this is a serious injury, and he's going to be out to 8 to 12 months. Dom comes out, and he starts poking the bear. He's like, oh, look, you're going home again, huh? You're going home. You're that's too bad that you can't compete on Saturday. It looked like I'm going to have the night off. And he was really excited about that. And that's when Wesley said, no, dog. That's not how this works. No. He tells him that he's going to have a match this Saturday, and it's against the guy who cannot mind his freaking business at all. And I'm talking about Dragon Lee. Look, I don't have no sympathy for Dominic Mysterio. I think he's not the greatest North American champion of all time. So he goes to the Titantron, and I see Rey Mysterio, who have no business. Why is he on NXT? Why is he there? I thought he was hurt. I thought he was sewing his mask. But no, he's there on NXT. He's out there. I was having a really great night, too, until I saw Rey Mysterio, by the way. I ordered some wings. I was having the time of my life. I was watching NXT, and I said, I'm going to be here on Tuesday to do the unPOPULAR Review NXT review show for you guys. And then Rey Mysterio shows up. The great fraud Rey Mysterio. And then he sits here and says, no, son, you're not going to take the night off. That's not how things roll. And then he brings out Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee, the same guy who got his ass kicked at Survivor Series by the second greatest luchador of all time, Santos Escobar. Why is he getting an opportunity at the North American Championship, Chris? Why is he getting an opportunity at that? Didn't he lose to Santos? Why are we rewarding losers? Isn't he about to get his ass kicked again this Friday? What's happening? And who gave him this power? Why does Rey Mysterio have this kind of power?
The same person who...
No. That's not for you to talk. It's not your time to talk. This is my show. But why? Who gave him this power? I thought he was a wrestler. That's like me going out to my job and just being like, hey, I have a suggestion. No, that's not how this works. Chris, take the floor. I'm really worked up right about now.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. That is the unPOPULAR Review NXT show immediately after NXT with the great Grand Slam Poobah, as well as the wrestling doll, Dahlia Dark. Ironically, we're going to talk about this Dragon Lee Santos Escobar match.
I don't want to.
However, before we do that, please make sure you remember you're watching the unPOPULAR Review wrestling show, Raw SmackDown Review. I am the exec consultant, Vic up there, Great Grand Slam Poobah. Please make sure that you are subscribing to our YouTube channels, both of them. unPOPULAR Review Wrestling, UPRE. We will appreciate that. We love it. Let me catch some of these comments.
And yes,
he says, great match. Jay got his Yeet trademark. Yeah, my kids been saying Yeet for years. Who's more over? Punk, Randy, LA Knight, Jey Uso, Sammy, KO. We're going to talk about that at the end of the match. Jay and CM Punk. What's up, Mike Knox? Yo, homie. Unbelievable, Jack. And shaking my head. Let's talk about it. Santos Escobar.
The second greatest luchador of all time.
And Dragon Lee wrestling in this tournament to see who's going to go on to face the United States champion, who's Logan Paul, who was not here tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about this match because competitive match. I thought the last match they had was a little bit better. The one Survivor Series was a little bit better, but this was still a very good match. Dirty Dom at ringside just to promote the match he's going to have with Dragon Lee tonight. Dragon Lee, the ultimate replacement, the ultimate ringer, because the Survivor Series, it really wasn't supposed to be Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. It was supposed to be Santos Escobar versus Carlito. Carlito got injured. So now, Wesley is injured. Let's throw in Dragon Lee. Santos Escobar picks up the victory clean. Dominic Mysterio goes, holds the title over him to promote the match again tonight. Let's go ahead and start with Vic, because I think he'll be the quickest one. First, what are your thoughts about this match? Your opinion? What do you see going on and what's happening tonight for NXT Deadline? Do you think it's going to be affected? Go ahead, though.
Well, no, it was a promo for tonight's match more than anything. And plus, I think it's the first time that we're going to see Rey Mysterio since he lost the belt tonight. I could be wrong about that. But, they just added on to the Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio drama, right? So he might actually drop the belt tonight to Dragon Lee because, Rey Mysterio is really giving this kid the rub, like hardcore rub.
I feel very uncomfortable.
And the thing is that it might be. I think that if he wins it, it just continues the drama between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, and then that way there's something that continues to the drama of Dominic Mysterio losing the title. As opposed, because mind you, he's had it for a long time. He's had a reign already. It wasn't a fluke. So if his father, mind you, if tonight Rey Mysterio gets involved in helping him lose the match, that makes sense because it'll make Dominic look strong still, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it felt like a good promo for for going on.
One thing I'll say is they're being very tight-lipped, and I've noticed lately that Dominic Mysterio has been coming out without Mommy, and that might be the difference maker tonight if he's coming out there with Mommy. I'll say it, and we're going to turn it over to Bad Guy Jack. But you mentioned Bobby Lashley earlier, how you think the Street Profits should have won the Tag Team Championships, and I remember Great Grand Slam Poop and I were talking on the show that you missed about how I automatically knew that they weren't going to win because Bobby Lashley was not out there. It was no reason to have not have Bobby Lashley out there. But in order to make him still look strong, because Bobby Lashley still has to look like the man. But if Rhea's not out there, I don't see Dom Mysterio walking away still NXT North American champion. Stop, Great Grand Slam. But go ahead. We're going with you.
I love when you get ready to make a point, your laundry machine goes off in the back. It's just so fantastic. It always look like you just sound like you're about to be taken off. These guys are great workers. So what do you expect? It's gonna be a great match. The stuff about Dragon Lee, I just wanted to say, I feel like it wouldn't kill him if he lost, but it just would be a mistake for him to lose because he lost. I think I said it on the show. He lost when they faced on that episode of Monday Night. That was like the pre call up or something like that. So I just think it would just make him look silly if he lost. Santos going over. I think it's the smart move, not because I think he's the second greatest and Dragon Lee should mind in his business, but you keep giving him some more. You're adding more to Santos. I feel like with this heel turn, you gotta go all in. He got to win matches. You gotta be cooked up. I think if he had lost, it would have been like, eh. So Dragon could take that. Dragon could take the L. And also, when I say Dragon, I mean.
Seeing your leather pants out of the Judgment Day. Does she have a problem that I don't know of with seeing money in the bank?
No, she does. If you have certain clothing, she'll make fun of it. So if you wear leather, she'll make fun of you. If you wear boots, she'll make fun of you. Point is, your fashion sense got to be up to here. You're wrong, Sean. What are you talking about?
It's not an unpopular review show without somebody telling Ron that he's wrong. Nobody told you to go out last night. I actually stayed in.
Okay, Grandpa.
No, I just didn't have a choice. So what happens when you're in between jobs, bro? I had to make some sacrifices, so I stayed home and watched it.
I went out yesterday and I saw Pikachu, and it was a great time. Shout out to Nintendo World, but they were very rude. We had this cool pose. We were going to do the shield fist bump, and the lady said no. And I sit here and say, you don't have fun, and I hope your kid draws something very shitty, and you have to put it on your refrigerator.
One thing I'll be remiss to talk
Dumbass.
about is that we did not mention that this was a tribute to the Troop Show. So much respect to all our troops and the ones that were there. They were very loud. They were very passionate. I liked the rendition they did of God is Beautiful. Those two people who did it at the beginning was, God Bless America. Those two people did it at the beginning were very, very good. I thought it was a wonderful wonderful time. And it was refreshing and nice to hear JBL on commentary. I was happy about that. So I want to go ahead and shout that out as well. I will say I'm going to bring this in. We skim over backstage segments a lot, but I'm going to talk about this because I felt like it kind of hurt somebody. Randy Orton was backstage, and here comes the general manager, Nick Aldis. Randy Orton explains to Nick Aldis, hey, you have me in this tag team match that I know that was announced a couple days ago. I just found out about it yesterday. And I found out I'm with this guy named LA Knight, who I didn't even know who the hell he was until last week. I felt like that was something that hurt more than helped.
Yeah.
With that. I understand what they were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can see how it hurt them. Yeah.
You were gone for 18 months. You didn't watch the product at all, is what you're telling me. You didn't watch one episode of Raw and SmackDown the entire time. You were not even doing anything on social media. Yet you knew that Jey Uso turned a new leaf. Okay. 2, you just don't give a damn about what LA Knight. Yeah. I thought that was kind of fucked up. I'm sorry. I really did. I really did. But shout out to Captain mentioning this because it was quite entertaining that he paid $100,000 and $50,000 because I'm going to arcade.
That's Jeffrey.
Take over. I gotta be right.
Okay, yeah, that makes about sense because he called Jeffrey Cap. That is hilarious. Wow, he left us in charge for this. This is great. Like I actually watched this thing. But what did you think about this segment, Vic?
I thought it was cool.
Outstanding. Straight to the point. Outstanding.
It was interesting because it kind of makes Randy look a little bit like a tweener. Like, oh, what's he gonna do? Wait, who the hell is this guy? Who the hell does he think he is? LA Knight. What is this? What is this? Who the hell you think you are putting me with this guy that I don't even know and I never prepped with? You know that I don't do well with other people. You remember how long it took Matt Riddle to get on my good side. That's what I'm seeing from this segment. If it's too much, I don't know.
I think in the same, not the same segment, but like they have a face off, him and Randy and LA Knight, and then CM Punk walk by. So that was cool. That was cool. I was confused, right? So I only was able to watch segments. CM Punk is on SmackDown, and it's like, oh, cool, he's on SmackDown. They're trying to figure out where he's going to be on Raw, SmackDown, free agent, right? And he goes out there. But why was Cody there?
Well, see, the thing is,
I know I'm asking that heavy hitting questions here.
I thought that whole thing was brilliant, though. Like, as far as like Cody and them, because number one, because personally, I think that a lot of the people that are writing the shows,
sure,
watch these shows, watch what we think, and watch like Wrestle Talk, and watch like all of these wrestling prediction shows and things like that. Right. And the reason I say that is because CM Punk coming back was one of the biggest things in the rumor mill prior to it happening. And when it did happen, everybody was still waiting for it. And when it happened, everybody popped like crazy. Right. So now we have a situation where nobody knows. Everybody's predicting that Cody Rhodes is going to just beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Mm-hmm. Right. Now that CM Punk is back, we don't know. But then Randy Orton's back. And what are they going to do with Randy Orton? So, like, it leaves a bunch of question marks for the directions that they're going to go, especially now when we have the Royal Rumble coming. Because, look, they could, a lot of people are saying that LA Knight should win the Royal Rumble. A lot of people are saying that Randy Orton should win the Royal Rumble. A lot of people are saying that CM Punk should win the Royal Rumble. Like, there's a lot of different scenarios that they could throw at Roman that would work. And they're still talking about The Rock and Roman, but that's
At
this point, I don't think that's happening at all.
No, and this shouldn't happen.
And I'll say this also. It's always good for Rock to make an appearance, but a match, I don't even think at this point is needed or
no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
And the only way it will still work now is if you have Roman drop the belt, in my opinion. Have Roman drop the belt and just have them have their one-off kind of match. But
and
really
speaking, Roman goes over.
Yeah, and Roman goes over. But I think they're in such a position now, they don't really need it. They don't need it at all.
I mean, personally,
it's a big marketing match, but yeah, I agree. It's not needed. And I mean to cut you off, Vic. I'm showing my driving skills here, but we just don't need it. Yeah,
I think that if The Rock helps, like if The Rock does what he did for The Miz, and like The Rock, and you know what I mean, or some kind of thing like that where Roman loses the title because of The Rock, and then him and The Rock have their battle after the fact. Yeah, I think that'll work. You know what
I mean, he's really running for president?
No, that's on the show. He's not going to run for president.
Oh.
I'm looking at some of these notes I'm reading. It says the finish was rather uneventful, but gave way to Mysterio arrogantly standing tall over Lee and spitting on him, which I forgot about, is the ultimate sign of disrespect. And then this one saying, maybe having Orton say he don't know who Knight was until last week isn't the best way to put the megastar over, given he just headlined a major premium live event against Roman Reigns.
Fair.
Next thing we'll talk about is Cody Rhodes being there because you got Phil Cody everywhere, right? But remember,
Cody's outside.
Remember, though, they're shitting on Cody Rhodes, right? If you watch the AEW show,
don't you get me started on that. Do not give me. I've seen your hires, and this is the best you have.
If you watch the AEW show from this past Wednesday,
play the commercial.
Not right now, but if you watch the AEW show this past Thursday, Wednesday, you'll know what I'm talking about. But Cody Rhodes just comes out again. I'm like, why are you there, you Monday Night Raw guy? Nick Aldis, can we get this guy scored out the building? But he's there, thanking everybody, and he didn't have anything to do or say. Like, there was no reason for him to be there, but just talk about
he is.
But I'll say this: he is still super over. He is still super over. Speaking of over people,
the American flag.
Okay, well, he's the American flag.
God, wait, what?
Speaking of people who are super over, Bobby Lashley versus
not the American flag.
Karrion Kross, who was finally found from the milk carton, and Bobby Lashley's just super over. Like I don't understand why they have not put this man in a feud with your tribal chief yet. It does not make.
Do you think it was to protect? Do you think it was to protect Bobby?
I don't.
The outcome was going to be Roman.
But you see the list of everybody that Roman's beaten, and they're still super over. So I think Bobby could have handled it, but it doesn't make sense for the way Bobby talks, especially over the last couple of months, for him to be there on SmackDown and not go after Roman Reigns at all. Just like I said, and I'll say it again, it didn't make any sense for him not to go out there. If you see that the Judgment Day had Rhea Ripley in the corner, why wouldn't Bobby Lashley be out there? Didn't make any sense. Last week we had Bobby Lashley versus Butch, right? And he looked like Butch. He looked at Butch like your dinner. Karrion Kross is a bigger competitor, right? Not than Bobby Lashley, but Bobby Lashley made him look like a scrub. And I don't say anything against Karrion Kross. I think he's a fantastic talent, a little overrated, but a fantastic talent. But Bobby went out there and pretty much, I will say he didn't break a sweat because he was sweaty all over the place, but he made it look easy, his defeat of Karrion Kross. I don't know. A year ago, Karrion Kross debuted, and everybody thought he might be the next Universal Champion.
I didn't think that, but I thought they when they brought him in, there was some steam there, and I said, oh, they're really going to jump shot him into this feud with Roman or get there, or whatever. And he, I gotta say, on the main roster, hasn't really done anything.
He's done Bobby Lashley's
except beat.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say except beat Rey Mysterio.
He's in this, United States tournament. I don't see Bobby Lashley winning, but how are they going to have him lose is the good question.
It's a good question.
Because I don't see Bobby Lashley and Logan Paul wrestling. I don't see that happening because I don't.
Bobby Lashley would eat Logan Paul, so no, you don't want that in any kind of way.
It doesn't make sense.
I can see them going to count out, Val.
I don't. They'll figure out a way to to beat him out. But I think that the thing with Bobby Lashley was just about this show. Because the thing is, mind you, he came out like a pure babyface. His stuff with the Street Profits is a little bit his heel.
But when he comes out, he still comes out as a babyface.
No.
He still slaps hands.
For this show, for this specific show, that was like it was over a year ago. He was just straight soldier in this show. He was not in character at all. Like he was Bobby Lashley the soldier. You know what I mean? This show was very specific. I don't think this match had anything to do with storyline. It was just about glorifying Bobby Lashley and his time in the armed services.
Yeah, they did announce it.
And they mentioned Montez Ford as well, and
who's also heavy on it.
Yeah. So the thing is that I think that's what this is about. I think that in the next match, or the next couple of matches, then they'll figure out a way to weed him out and then get him back to being a bad guy and doing that whole thing. Because I seriously think that if the Creed brothers get the titles, then the Street Profits will take it off of them. Because I think that I would love to see the Street Profits with a heel title run.
It was a fantastic show. It did feel bigger. I always say the majority of the people disagree with me, but I say the majority of the stars are on Monday Night Raw. I think what SmackDown has is they have the biggest star that WWE has, which is Roman Reigns on it. And now arguably the second, possibly the first, Randy Orton, who's now exclusive to SmackDown. But realistically speaking, SmackDown, just like I talk about Collision has a better look to me than Dynamite. And I feel like it's a better show than Dynamite overall. I think Raw week to week is better than SmackDown, but I think SmackDown utilizes their time better and their talent a little bit better, probably because they don't have to spread them a little too thin. And I feel like their look and presentation is somewhat better than Raw, even though Raw's presentation is phenomenal. But SmackDown's a little darker, a little grittier, and I do appreciate that sometimes. It just feels like I'm a Collision cowgirl. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take another commercial break when we come back. And this is the only time I'm playing this commercial. I would never play this ever on air again. I'll play the original AEW commercial. But I'll play this because I was informed and bossed to by Bad Guy Jack. However, when we come back, CM Punk's segment we're going to talk about, which is Big Talk this week. Stay with us. You are watching Unpopular Review.
You bring a guy like Adam Copeland into the company, okay? Just like they brought Cody Rhodes in, and they pretty much shit on Cody Rhodes. Don't do this to Adam. Don't do it to Adam.
Wait, who's shitting on Cody Rhodes?
What do you mean who's shitting on Cody Rhodes? Bro, you bring in Cody Rhodes. You bring in Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania, okay? You make him face Seth Rollins, okay? Then you make him chase for almost 2 years the title. Why are you guys laughing? You guys know you guys know they shat on you know they did, because there's nothing you guys.
How did they shit on Cody? I feel like you're saying that to say that because they haven't shit on him. He was injured, so that delayed everything. Won the Royal Rumble, main event at WrestleMania. He didn't need to win that match, and still was looking strong. Beat Brock Lesnar twice. I mean, who are these people shitting on him?
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
I'll say this:
Hold on,
they
hold
have
on.
no storyline for Cody. Right. He's kind
Let's be honest. Can we honestly really sit here and say facing Roman Reigns at Mania was really a highlight of his career? Because I can say no. That was a BS match.
That was the biggest match he's ever had.
That was a bullshit match.
Cody going. You had your point. You had. Come on.
I still have my point. My point is Cody came in the company, okay? He faced Seth. He beat Brock Lesnar twice, Okay, can we move on? How do you just say that like that's nothing? Listen, fantastic role. Let's keep going. We're gonna keep moving. I'm being honest with you right now, dog. You're making it like, he just beat Brock Lesnar like he's a jabron. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's just Brock Lesnar. What do you mean?
That was a slap in the face of Brock Lesnar, because there's no way in a real life fight Cody would win. There's no way. None. There is none. Bro. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Oh man,
I'm sorry, it's a joke, bro. It's a joke. It really is a joke, bro. If I was Cody, I would quit and go back to AEW, bro. I would.
That was the AEW Dynamite. What the hell? That was the AEW Dynamite show immediately after AEW.
What the hell was that? One Vincent, I challenge him again. I might just appear on AEW again, because what the hell was that? Did you guys see the shenanigans that was on that episode? Goodness.
Dan the Man hosts AEW. He will be joined by Vince going forward for the foreseeable future for AEW, along with the Sheriff making special guest appearances. Man thinks he's in a GoDaddy commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Review, wrestling show Raw and SmackDown edition. I am the executive consultant. That's Vic. That's Great Grand Slam Pooba.
You forgot
Please
to
make sure
washing machine.
Please make sure that you're liking, loving, and sharing this video to all your wrestling timelines and groups. And please, for the sake of Bad Guy Jack, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube for Unpopular Review for UPRE. We will greatly appreciate it. Let's talk about it. It was the most talked about segment of the night, of the week, probably. CM Punk coming out there, making headlines, definitely close to 1,000 subs, making headlines, just going at it. I mean, going at it the way people wanted him to go at it this past the Monday before. And he said it at the beginning. He said, hey, we're at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. You know what that means? My time will not be cut. Because I did mention that they did bring him out last time at like 10:52 or something like that. So he would not have as much to say as much as he could. So all he said was, I'm home. I'll start with you, Great Grand Slam Pooba. I'll start with you, Bad Guy Jack, simply because of the fact that I remember last week when we talked about CM Punk's promo, you said it didn't feel completely genuine to me. So it felt like you were a little let down. Were you happier with this promo?
This promo was way better.
You can talk about what he said. So I'm going to have let you talk about and Vic talk about what he said, and then I'll piggyback. But you said it was way better. Why?
I thought this was way better. One, that he had more time. That was something I didn't even put together. I remember on and shout out to my co-host for the Big Pop, Sawyer. She asked, "Well, what was it about this promo talking about Monday Night Raw?" And I said, "Just didn't feel like Punk. I didn't." And there was a lot of things I didn't put in and think about, like, well, he didn't have a lot of time. And you know, even when I say, "Oh, I don't feel like Punk," I do want to express. I'm not saying he needs to shit on another company and all that stuff. I just wanted to hear him be him. So when he had all the time in the world and was able to speak and then call out people like Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins without mentioning Seth Rollins, I thought that was a great touch, because even when they did the music, he acknowledged it and he said, that's all he is. It's just a song. I said, I see you, Phil. I see you, dog. He did his, again, right here. Shout out to my co-host. He did do his big one last night. He was able to just address a lot of things. I even like the little touch of where he said, I don't know if you want to mess with a guy who will punch someone in the face backstage. And then someone dropped real glass and he was ready to swing. But I thought that this was really well done. And this was the Punk that I wanted to see. So he did his number. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that you guys will mention that I was like, oh yeah, he mentioned that and I forgot. But this was well done. Well done.
I loved all the Paul Heyman stuff, you know, because he's clearly just, you know, setting up for a WrestleMania main event. But Lord knows between who. It could either be Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, right? But I really like the stuff that he was talking about, how Paul Heyman was his wise man. So now if they ever do go back and forth, as far as like, I would love to see Roman Reigns and CM Punk just go at it on the mic. Because mind you, Roman needed Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman made this Roman Reigns. CM Punk didn't need Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was there because he's always been a Paul Heyman guy, and Paul Heyman gave him the rub and whatever, you know what I mean? But as far as like being on the stick, no. With Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar needed Paul Heyman, and Roman Reigns needed Paul Heyman. But CM Punk never needed Paul Heyman as far as getting on the microphone. So I'm very curious to see what happens there. Now, the drama with Seth Rollins, oh man, it's titillating. It really is. It really is. And then at the end, just a little rub of the, you know, just that little rub of the AEW as far as like his behavior and his past, because I think that he definitely recognizes what's being said about him, and he's just playing into everybody's hands. Like, I mean, this guy, it really is one of the best in the world, because he understands the psychology of this business. Like, he understands what to say, how to move a crowd, how to piss people off, how to get them invested in what they're going to see. You know, I think that this is CM Punk is the epitome of controversy creates cash. Personally, and I could be wrong about this, I think he got himself fired. I think that he looked for an opportunity to get back in this spot. I think that when he first went to AEW, he thought he was going to be in a space where he was respected and he was going to be able to teach younger wrestlers and things like that. And the fact of the matter is that people like Hangman Page and people like, just young Jungle Boy, are not necessarily looking at him the way that he looks at Harley Race and Terry Funk and people that he looks up to. Like CM Punk looks at this business in a very different way than a lot of young wrestlers do. And I really think that he did what he had to do to get out of that contract and out of that place, because he's just working for a mark that's playing with his toys. Feel me? So like, he did what he had to do to go back home, to go back to a place where the production is 10 times better. I mean, like, even if you look at the videos, CM Punk at WWE just looks 10 times better than he looked in AEW. The pops might be the same.
He definitely looks a little bit more refreshed, but he's been off for a while, so I'll give him that. But he looks like he's good. He looks like he's happy too. I'll say that. It looks like he's a lot happier. It looks like he got a lot less stress off his shoulders since he's not working with children anymore. To your point,
he didn't go into AEW thinking he was going to be working with children.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I'm sure that people in WWE behave better, especially in a locker room and shit like that. They have certain rules to follow. I know that in AEW is going to be like a big indie show. And I think that because a lot of people are pointing fingers at just giving him well, you said, because you're always going to have people that just start with that shit. But the reality of the situation is that I don't think that CM Punk went into AEW thinking he was going to get what he got. And I think that he did what he had to do to get himself out of there. Why? Because that whole visit to WWE that he did months before says a lot. And the other thing is that's, in my opinion, that's also one of the reasons everybody was anticipating what happened at Survivor Series. That was the main thing everybody was talking about. And when it happened, now here we are. Best in the world.
Arguably, to your point, I'll say this. And Bad Guy Jack and I have a lot of offline talks when it comes to wrestling. And one of the things I mentioned to him is how, if you listen to Triple H, and I'm pretty sure I said this on air, if you listen to Triple H, he's always talking about, getting these other wrestlers to build the future, right? And that's why they have the NIL program, which a lot of people don't like. They're like, why are you getting these athletes out of college and high school and stuff? Why are you getting them? Why aren't you going after the indies and stuff like that you used to? And I've said it so many times. I said, if you look at what the WWE tries to do, if you look at what AEW has, and I think somebody said it in the chat, how it's just an indie promotion with money. They get all of these indie wrestlers, and these indie wrestlers have their own style and their own mentality and their own way they want to do things. And then they hate on WWE because WWE says, well, we understand your style. Let's cater toward how we do things here so we can get you to be a bigger star in money. And that's where a lot of times I think Vince was beefing, I'll say, so to speak. Triple H did a good job of combining them both, but was beefing with other people. So CM Punk goes on there, and understand CM Punk came from the Indies, but he's also a WWE guy. That's got his name. So he was expecting to get all the respect and everything in the world. But Hangman Adam Page said, I'm not having it. Eddie Kingston said, this is the way we do things. Jungle Boy Jack Perry said, this is the way we do things. So he felt disrespected. Now, granted, maybe he overreacted a little. I think he did. I think he was a little unprofessional, but that's the way we are at. In WWE, it's like, this is how we're doing things now. We're going to get people and groom from the beginning. Why? Because of people like Bianca Belair. Groomed from the beginning. And if you look at most of the most popular wrestlers WWE's ever had, they all were groomed from the beginning. John Cena, from the beginning. Roman Reigns, from the beginning. Almost all of the 4 horsewomen from the beginning. Almost. Becky came from other places too, but groomed to be that person. Notable things I want to talk about CM Punk mentioning last night. One that I don't think people saw. When he came out in the crowd, there was a gentleman there with a replica World Heavyweight Championship belt. CM Punk looked at it, held it, and it looked like he never saw before in his life. That was telling. That was subtle. I love the little things. Paul Heyman probably taught him that. Paul Heyman's great at that. He also mentioned about some of the wrestlers or things that he would want to talk about. Now, he mentioned Roman Reigns. Vic loved it. didn't like it. You don't disrespect my tribal chief. You don't disrespect the head of the table, right? You don't do it. Roman Reigns going to Superman punch you, CM Punk, stay in your place and know your lane, okay? You talk about the Paul Heyman thing. You are absolutely right. But one thing I disagree with CM Punk saying, I was the OG Paul Heyman guy. No, you weren't. That was Brock Lesnar. Okay?
This is true.
You didn't join up until 10 years after Brock Lesnar joined up. And then when Brock took a hiatus, then they paired you up with CM Punk. But you are right. CM Punk never needed it. Unlike Brock, who's done a phenomenal job not having Paul Heyman now, right? But unlike Brock and unlike Roman, who I don't think would have got to that next step without Paul Heyman, CM Punk does not need him. So I don't want them to have a Paul Heyman on a pole match. We did that with Brock and Roman. It was entertaining. But when Paul left for a little while to go with Brock, Roman, I felt like did not do as well. I remember that time.
But here's the thing: it's not going to be them fighting over Paul Heyman. It will be Paul Heyman versus CM Punk on the stick. Roman Reigns can't handle CM Punk on the stick, but what fucking Paul Heyman? You see what listen. You see what Paul Heyman did with Cody Rhodes?
Cap, don't do that.
You saw what Paul Heyman did with Cody Rhodes?
Great idea.
You know the shit that's gonna happen between Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Oh man,
Roman can handle CM Punk just like he did with John Cena. You can say all the crap you want.
First of all,
okay. But I'm the champion. I've been champion twice as long as you have.
John Cena. I guarantee you
why is everyone yelling?
Had to be rehearsed. You know what I mean? John Cena could go on the mic with anybybody, bro. But
John Cena did. Roman just said, I'm going to
you know how long? Here's the problem I have with Roman Reigns that I've always had. It always took all hands on deck to get this guy over for years. Man.
I think I also think that he was.
Remember the Royal Rumble when The Rock came out to give him the rub and he still got booed off the stage, man.
But that wasn't your head of the table. That wasn't your tribal chief.
It doesn't matter though. It does matter. They had to go this far. He would not be a tribal chief without Paul Heyman going like this all day and confirming the whole thing every single time and acting like he's scared of the goddamn tribal chief. Come on. We wouldn't have this. They needed everybody. They needed the Usos. They needed Sami Zayn. They needed everybody to solidify.
Hold on. Wait a minute, Vic.
Together and then make a gold championship just to fucking put this guy on a pedestal so that everybody can feel like he's the tribal chief. Come on.
But he is a tribal chief.
Cole didn't need all of this.
Oh, so I was not needed for this episode at all. You guys are just talking right over me.
You ate your breakfast this morning. That's because Roman Reigns put the food on your plate and on the table.
How you figure?
A couple minutes ago.
You figure? I bet Roman Reigns don't even know what
this man up top was eating food, and that was because he acknowledged his tribal chief in the morning. There is a reason this man.
It's actually a protein bar. It's not.
That Roman Reigns provided. Thank you very much. All right. Roman Reigns provided him that food.
Oh, now you guys can hear me. You guys were ranting this whole time. I just wanted to ask Victor first off, like, what's your beef against Roman? And you guys just talked over me, so I have nothing to say.
I just told you what my beef against Roman is. Listen. I acknowledge the tribal chief, but the reality of acknowledging the tribal chief is that it took the village to make the tribal chief. The tribal chief didn't make himself.
And that's fine. And that's fine. It worked. You know how many other people that they put everything in someone's pocket and it still didn't work out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it worked out for Roman. And I also think, too, when we talk about Roman back in the day, I think some of the stuff was he was handcuffed as well. When they were writing for him, suffering succotash, all that stuff, now that they let him talk and be organic, because that's what the fans want, right? Someone being organic, and it works. And yeah, Paul Heyman talk. You know what I mean, Victor.
Organic? Okay. What does organic mean?
Basically, he was already wrong about the fact that he said that he was the OG Heyman guy. He's not the OG Heyman guy. Something else he mentioned was about Cody Rhodes. He said, a friend of mine who welcomed me back home famously likes to come out here and say, what do you guys want to talk about? Which I might say is the least over phrase in wrestling. Anyway, Punk said, referencing Cody Rhodes.
I don't know why Cody Rhodes does that.
So, what do you want to talk about? And it gets a pop, but it's because it's a cheap pop because he mentions the city. So, Orlando, Florida.
Why Orlando?
What do you want to talk? Because that's where I'm at. I don't know who would feel comfortable working with someone who just randomly punches people in the face backstage. It's 2023, and you just can't be doing that. I saw a point that I read an article.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, I love that.
But I read an article where they said that, majority of the audience still don't know what an AEW is. So they did not get that reference.
That's not
and then
true.
I watched it back.
But you know what?
It's somewhat true because if you watch it back when he first said it, not a lot of people got it at first.
True.
And then I think other people got it when they started chanting.
Right. I was going to sit here and say that even though like a lot of people might have not got it, that was for the inside fans, I believe, like the ones who know. If you know, you know, right? That's the cool thing that people say. So yeah.
Yeah, and but CM Punk's always been about that, breaking the fourth wall, right?
Mhm.
And he was doing that while he mentioned Kevin Owens, which is really good. Now let's talk about one. Before I talk about the Seth Rollins thing, I want to mention that they're doing all this to tease. What is he going to do? Is he going to sign with Monday Night Raw? Is he going to sign with Friday Night SmackDown? The obvious money is Monday Night Raw, right?
Absolutely.
That's the obvious money. But he created so many teases with the Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, calling out Roman Reigns first. Even the Kevin Owens thing, the bloodline thing that he did backstage that Kat mentioned not too long ago, that it made you intrigued, like, or made me anyway, maybe him on SmackDown wouldn't be a bad idea after all. Maybe him on SmackDown could actually work because he also mentioned Randy Orton, right, who's a SmackDown superstar. I think Raw has the majority of the superstars, but I think you put CM Punk on SmackDown. SmackDown has, as an old basketball player would say, crush on Raw. They would have so much more overall if they get CM Punk. But it looks like he should go to SmackDown. He did mention, besides Cody Rhodes, he did mention the Raw superstar Seth Rollins, where he said that I'm not going to address him. You're not even the old man in your own household, which I thought was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he got was a song. And I want to acknowledge the Seth Rollins fans in attendance for singing his song on CM Punk because I felt like that actually made the segment a lot better by him talking. Mm-hmm. Because Seth Rollins is still a super popular wrestler. Seth Rollins has his own fan base, and they should be singing his song to CM Punk, who is still, yes, he's super popular. But remember, CM Punk still has a lot of haters out there. And they're going to want to go with Seth Rollins. We're going to do this, and we're going to move on.
I just want to say real quick. I love that you mentioned that where you said the crowd and that's doing his song in the back, and Punk is talking. So WWE is really great at those vignettes and stuff like that. And when they put in slicing clips, that's going to be one of those clips when they have Seth against Punk, and you're gonna have that where they drown out everything and just have that crowd doing the noise, the song, and CM Punk talking over it. I just wanted to point that out because I think stuff like that is great.
He ends the segment saying that his goal is his story, I should say, is to finish by main eventing WrestleMania, which we know is one of the reasons why he left. He wants to main event WrestleMania. I know a lot of people are saying main event night 1 is going to be CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Night 2 is going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I think that's intriguing. That's why I say you don't really need a Rock, but we'll talk about it. But where do you think? Because this is what I'm thinking. And like I said, I'm going to turn it over to you all. I'm thinking what they could do, because they had a tease with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk last night backstage. You could put CM Punk on Raw. on SmackDown right now. I think you can get away with putting CM Punk on SmackDown. Then have him win the Royal Rumble, make it look like he's going to challenge Roman Reigns, and then he comes out and he challenges Seth Rollins.
Kind
of like I think Asuka did it with Nia Jax and Asuka did it with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. 2018, I think it was.
18, you're right.
Yeah. And I do, okay, Vic. I really feel like that is a way to go. But what do you think, Raw or SmackDown? Where would you put CM Punk if you were booking it? Go ahead, Vic.
What the hell was that?
That was the old WrestleMania theme song.
Oh, I thought Linda McMahon was coming out.
That's my new theme music. Hey.
I can imagine it with that, with a purple robe and a cane. Yeah, no, you gotta do that.
All right, so
okay, we turn this shit off.
Why? Good music.
I already see a copy strike coming this way.
Oh, I do. Okay, really? Even if it's that old? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Damn, I forgot my train of thought here. Oh,
See, that's what happens when you play Linda McMahon music. You forget stuff.
WrestleMania, Raw or SmackDown?
I just forgot. Am I floating?
Here's the
Where would
thing.
you put CM Punk?
Here's the thing. I think Raw is better because I think that he's pushing Seth Rollins' buttons and they're gonna keep going back and forth and all of that. And I think that they're gonna keep him away from Roman for a while. Because the truth is, like he just came back. Shoving him towards Roman immediately, in my opinion, just says that they're going to keep the title on Roman, because they're basically just going to do the same thing that they did with Cody Rhodes. Send them out to go fight Cody, go fight Roman, make it this big thing, and then him not necessarily get the belt. Because putting the belt immediately on Punk, in my opinion, isn't necessary. And he doesn't necessarily have anybody to fight with, you know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have any adversity. I mean, they could make it, but he doesn't necessarily have it. So I think that him going after Rollins is the best thing, and just make it a thing on Raw. You know what I mean? But right now, there's people ahead of him. There's people way ahead of him in line. So we'll see what happens. I mean, personally, I would just like to see him. I would love to see something else, like what happened between him and MJF, because in my opinion, that was the best part of CM Punk being in AEW, his entire thing with MJF. If there's something like, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see something between CM Punk and The Miz, just for the back and forth of the mic. But my whole favorite thing about wrestling is the mic skills, so yeah, man, like there's a lot they could do, but as far as I don't think they should put CM Punk in a position of chasing a title immediately, outside of possibly winning the Royal Rumble. But then at the same time, if Gunther was to win the Royal Rumble, I wouldn't be mad at it. You know what I mean?
Or bad, but it's not happening.
Would be one of the last, because last year he almost won it, and that whole story is amazing.
Yeah, but they never liked each other.
So that's what I mean. Look, Miz and Punk, they never liked each other. And look, Brian and Miz never liked each other, and they have classic backstage freaking spat.
I think the stuff though with Punk when he went to WWE, the stuff that they said earlier in the year, I think they said that Miz was one of the first people he spoke with and almost like buried a hatchet. So I'm pretty sure they could do business.
I'm sure
at least do business. I'm not going to sit and say best friends, invite each other for sleepovers and cookies and cream, but I think they could work together because there's money there. Definitely. Especially when you talk about just outside wrestling, like the how you mentioned they don't like each other. You could do stuff like that as the executives types.
I personally just don't think that
I'm being asked if we're doing a collision show tonight.
I don't think they should just.
There's a collision show.
Immediately.
Somebody asked me. Somebody just messaged me and say, "Are we doing collision show tonight?" That's the only reason I'm typing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just don't think remember how they said how like Cody Rhodes needs some more adversity and whatever first. I feel the same way about Punk because given everything that he's done in the past few years, it wasn't with this company. It wasn't with these storylines. It was basically like yesterday he was basically talking like, all right, he pretty much, not in those direct words, but he pretty much let it be known like, listen, I'm not there anymore. I'm here now. And, I did shit over there and this is who I am. And
that sounds very nasty.
Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? But then he's mentioning people, but not necessarily making any moves yet. So we'll see. I want to just see somebody pick on him, somebody get into a fight with him, somebody talk some shit with him.
You got to be careful with that. Where's this all taking place?
Huh?
Where's this taking place when all these fights are happening?
He said, look, we got a
in the ring.
He's going to clearly be in the Royal Rumble. But let's see if he wins it or not.
I think he would win it because they might be banned from the Royal Rumble.
We'll see, but
Bad Guy Jack will on you. Where would you put CM Punk, Raw or SmackDown?
Where would I put him on Raw or SmackDown? It's intriguing on SmackDown, right? Okay. is intriguing to put him on SmackDown. And I think they did a brilliant job on doing these teases. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to Raw, but I do like these things where he had a face-off with Kevin Owens and made you go like, hey, he could go to SmackDown. Almost like he's not going to do it. He's like, not yet. I have other stuff to finish off first before I go.
NXT too. I forgot. That was
they did
make NXT look like it was somewhat relevant, and it's not. But yeah,
it'd be funny if he does go to NXT.
It would be fun.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Vic. Thank you. It would be so much fun to see him on NXT. Him in the ring with who's the NXT champion? Dragunov, right? Dragunov hit him with one of those H bombs. CM Punk will never forgive this man, and we'll never see Dragunov again. I don't see him going to NXT, but I think there would be some fun stuff if he did go to NXT. Wherever he goes, it would be fun. But he's going to go to Raw. He's going to go to Raw.
I do see this.
I love this guy's name. This guy's fantastic.
In my opinion,
television would have. Yeah, I was finished. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, Vic. No, you know what? I know you have. It's been a while. You have a lot to say, my guy. So you take the floor. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Look, in my opinion, Punk should go to SmackDown. Start beef with Kevin Owens. Him and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens famously loves the Young Bucks. Loves Adam Cole.
Baby.
Those guys were all Mount Rushmore. And you can clearly see that, Kevin Owens is probably on the side of the Young Bucks on this whole situation. You could see that there was a little bit of tension between them yesterday when their little interaction. And Kevin Owens has some of the best mic skills in the business. Oh, man, Kevin Owens and CM Punk going back and forth.
Kevin Owens is very good. Kevin Owens is very underrated.
No, he's fantastic. Yeah.
And I want to pause real quick and say, Cap, I agree with you. I think if they really want to capitalize off what happened last night, even with the tease, because we know he's not going to NXT. Let's just be real. I would actually have him make a Jade Cargill appearance at NXT Deadline tonight. I think that would be phenomenal. But I know that would be happy.
Let me ask you this: if we go that route, right?
Yes, we are. We're going to do a live reaction. I hate the reaction thing because there's too many of them on TV right now. But we'll go on NXT Deadlines Live. We'll be right here calling the action with you all, watching it with you all. Well, I will be anyway.
Outstanding. What was I going to get at? You throw Punk out there, right? Where do you throw him out there? Middle of the show, end of the show. I know it should be.
Bring him out at the end of the show. Have him do, if he's going to come out of the crowd, which he should. I will have him come out at the end of the show after whoever wins the NXT Championship match tonight, which I think is going to be Dragunov, but I wouldn't be upset if it's Baron Corbin. And I think that's the way you do it. But unless you really want to capitalize off of that, I would just have him come out just like during a segment or something like that. Just kind of like John Cena did earlier this year. I think it was at Money in the Bank or something. Just a surprise. Place will go crazy.
Wait, what was the music? What was that remix? What was that Missy? That was the Missy Elliott remix.
That's actually I was about to do Chris Benoit. But him saying Seth is not the man in this house. I agree. Anyone has to do a mandatory 1 month NXT unless your name is Roman Reigns. It's the rules. How about Impact Wrestling Final Resolution? That's tonight.
Wait, Impact has a wow. We gotta try to get on this TNA stuff. Snap. TNA's been doing some big, real quick, doing some really big stuff.
Steve won't hire the person I want him to hire. So I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
Okay. We're gonna take our final commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk.
How many commercial breaks have we taken? Jesus Christ!
Enough. We're gonna take a quick, small commercial.
We got through all 8 seasons
because it's Saturday.
30 seconds. When we come back, we'll talk about
AEW.
Yeet!
We're going to talk about the main event of Smackdown as well as our top 5 baby faces on WWE right now. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review. We'll be right back.
It's Smallville.
There's a party tonight at Peter's house. Can I go?
Hello, Tawatha. Do I feel like being bothered with Tawatha? Hello, LaDonna.
Yo, baby. Looking real good.
Step off.
Scandalous. Kick it, Pops.
Okay, so where we're on our way to? The house party. What? The house party.
We are back this Thursday. Coming up, we'll continue our I Love the 90s movies with House Party, brought to you by Mike Knoxbridge. You're watching the Unpopular Review Wrestling Show. We're all Smackdown results. I am the executive consultant. Up there is Great Grand Slam Pooba as well as Vic.
Yes.
Please make sure you have not done so already. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 1K. Let's get to 1K tonight. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff that we're reviewing. NXT Deadline, immediately after NXT Deadline, join Great Grand Slam Pooba as Wrestling Doll as they review NXT Deadline. And of course, I will most likely be doing a watch party right here on Unpopular Review Wrestling.
Not a house party, but a watch party. Join us tonight.
I forgot. I said the main event is not the main event. Charlotte versus Asuka had a match. They acted like it was a WrestleMania rematch. It's not a WrestleMania rematch. It's a WrestleMania rematch times 29. Asuka picks up the victory due to some interference from Bayley. The notable thing here was the Diamond Control came out outside of Bayley. Mia Yim and Zelina Vega finally got released from the local medical facility to try to get their comeuppance against the Damage Control. They had some help from Bianca Belair and Shotzi. Bayley comes out, interferes in the match because she got hit by Charlotte. Charlotte gets rolled up. Asuka wins the match. Charlotte, from what we understand, injured her knee during that match. We don't know the extent of her injury right as of yet. I think that she probably just needs to take a week or two off from wrestling, but she will be fine. Your thoughts when it comes to this match? And I know Big Daddy Cool loves these two wrestling. He says they never have a bad match. I am a fan of these two. I don't need to see them wrestle again, though. However, go ahead. We'll start with you, Vic.
Well, Asuka and Charlotte, it's a clinic, man. It's always something that's amazing. So the thing is, I don't think they should. I think they should hype those matches up a little bit more. I mean, clearly this was all about Bayley's storyline, but yeah. The sad part about Charlotte Flair is just that she's done so much that at this point, I think it's difficult to book her because she's like a Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is like a title herself. You know how like there's been times when she's like, I am the opportunity. It's like she does, you know what I mean? Like she's like facing her is like a brass ring, for lack of a better phrase. It's like it's like facing John Cena type of thing. Like it's a privilege basically. So that's why I say like it's kind of difficult to, because I feel like she's just above everybody else, which makes it difficult to book her. But as far as, and the only person that really is at the same level that her, in my opinion, is Asuka, because her incredible NXT run and all the championships she's had and everything, and I feel like it's difficult to book them because and what you're gonna get, when you have these two, and the match ended the way that it did, but clearly to continue the whole damage control thing. Because truth be told, like I don't even think that Asuka and Kairi Sane are necessary for damage control, but clearly for some reason they're trying to add these two and then take out Bayley, maybe to bring back Sasha Banks, like people are talking about. Who knows? But yeah, this whole thing is just interesting. And right now, I've got to be honest, like I really like all the drama with the female faction. I don't think we've ever seen something like this where there's been like an all-female faction that's had this elongated storyline. So I really am enjoying it. And I've said it from the time that Stephanie McMahon brought the red belt out. Like the girls part of the show has just been getting better and better, making the entire show better for the past 10 years, honestly. So yeah, this was great. That was a ramble.
I definitely feel like Bayley, Sasha Banks should come back because I think it will add to this storyline. So go ahead, bad guy.
I mean, it does look like Sasha's coming back, right? Just feels that way. The segment did what it had to do. Continues to add more drama to damage control. Like my guy in the chat, Jeffrey, says Bayley's getting booted out one way or another. I believe they even told her, don't, stay back here, don't do anything. Anyway, she does it anyway. And yeah, it's just, when does it happen, I guess? Does it happen towards the end of the year, beginning of the year that they kick her out? interested in hearing what you guys think.
Sasha coming back will add to the storyline. I just think it would be just another. I hate to say nail in the coffin because AEW had the most successful, profitable year, so I can't say coffin. But just imagine a Royal Rumble and Bad Guy Jack. He'll be down here. It's shaping up to be. It's like I said. It's just.
It's a great. Yeah, no, it is a great time. It is, and honestly, Sasha Mercedes, she put a video out earlier this week, and she's like, I'm coming back, and I don't know. I just go like, I don't see her.
I was Tony Khan. I would do everything in my power to sign her, just to stop her from going to WWE. It meant too much momentum.
It is. It is. But I don't think she would. No. It's that women's division. I think I forget who I was talking to. Because I talk wrestling with a lot of people. I don't even think she would be a good fit for the AEW women's division. I just don't think so. And I think her going back to WWE, there's that story, that history with her and Bayley, and history also too with not all the members of Damage Control.
Are you getting choked up, Bayley? I mean, sorry, Sasha coming back. Is that bringing a tear to your eye?
Oh no, I yawned. That's why.
Oh, well, you yawned and cry. Okay.
Yeah, I yawned. I cry. Yeah, like I cried when I had to hear you talk and interrupt me. So shut up. But
I'll tell you one thing. I love that Tony Storm match that happened on Wednesday.
Good job, Vic.
It was very cakey.
Okay. All right. Main event time. Bloodline. Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa versus Randall, Keith Orton, and L.A. Knight. One thing I want to highlight is I love Solo Sikoa's entrance. I just think the music and his entrance, I think, is sold. And then Jimmy Uso, who, in my opinion, is an MVP.
He is.
A low-key MVP in WWE right now. If you watch the intro, and I might clip this just so I can show it, but if you watch the intro when the lights come on for Solo's entrance and Jimmy was just he's just so freaking funny. But Randy Orton, LA Knight, I want to shout out that I feel like they gave both of these wrestlers LA Knight.
Wait, yeah? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Jeffrey, I'm sorry, because this is breaking news to me. Solo wear boots now? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm just saying that was that just caught me off guard.
It happens to mostly every wrestler. They're not wearing it. I remember Rusev used to not wear shoes.
Oh yeah,
hurt his ankle or something. He said, I remember Cody Rhodes used to not have elbow and knee pads, and then something happened.
I remember that. Yeah. I thought they actually forced him to do that because I remember he used to wear that one elbow pad and no knee pads because he wanted to do like an old school look.
He admitted they always told him to, and he always refused to. And then something happened, and he got hurt a little bit. And he said, "Okay, you know what? That was the dumbest thing I ever did."
Okay, fair enough.
But there was a spot where Randy Orton took the heat of the match. There's a spot where LA Knight took the heat of the match. LA Knight was about to go for the blunt force trauma, and Randy Orton stole it with the RKO. These two, as much as I gave Randy Orton flack earlier for what he said about LA Knight, I felt like they gave him a rub at the end also. They still made LA Knight seem like a big deal, a big star. Same thing with Randy Orton, but you're not going to change anything about Randy Orton. He is Randy Orton. Mm-hmm. It's a fun match, Did what it had to do. Then progress the storylines. But one thing I want to say that was noticeable, and I can tell you why they did it. There was no Paul Heyman at ringside, who's usually there for Solo Sikoa's matches. There was no Paul Heyman. Why? Because he was referenced earlier from CM Punk, and they did not want the story to be about him.
Right.
To be about what's going on between Randy and LA Knight, because that's the story. Roman Reigns makes his return next week, which I wish they stopped putting Roman Reigns returns next week. They should just put Roman Reigns here next week.
But you know what else too? Because you said something, I just want to piggyback on that. You were talking about Paul Heyman not being there to take away from the storyline, but I think also too, you know how wrestling fans, they think they overthink stuff. They're like, so what? These two were in the same arena and they didn't run into each other. Where was the? So I think that's also another thing I just wanted to throw out.
And they didn't even mention it,
right?
And like I said, everything is on purpose. Once again, shout out to JBL being there. He said that line. I always say Drew McIntyre. I think Bad Guy Jack says Randy Orton. JBL said it again when Randy Orton comes out. You build a wrestler from the ground up. That's what it looks like. And once again, I say Drew McIntyre, but I can't disagree if you say Randall Orton.
Nope.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Cowboy Bob Orton has got to be one of the proudest people ever. You know, his son is literally a bona fide Hall of Famer. His son surpassed him, and
Yep.
you know what I mean. And the guy at this point is just like, hey, listen, I'll do this till the wheels fall off. And mind you, like, you got to give a lot of respect to Randy Orton. He came in pretty young, and I still remember when he was getting the Austin Theory treatment.
He was original Austin Theory, absolutely.
Yeah, straight up. Like, I remember when that was happening, and now look, the guy is he's a Hall of Famer. He's got a 20-year belt already. Like, you know, he's not a Hall of Famer, but what I mean to say,
he's the first ballot, though. No, absolutely,
without doubt. And the funny thing, not funny, but one of the things JBL said last night, and I completely agree with it. He said that, and he just keeps getting better.
Facts.
Right, and it's amazing how much he still does progress.
Yeah,
in his character and how still over he is. The only person I would say that comes close to that is The Undertaker, as far as longevity of career and the impact it's had on the WWE. I think Randy Orton is definitely a top 5 WWE superstar in that respect. But I just thought it was a fun show, fun match, fun ending with these 4 gentlemen.
Yeah.
I will still praise Jimmy Uso every single week. I think Solo's entrance music and his entrance is amazing. I think they still try to protect LA Knight as much as they could, even though he has a lot of competition. Yep. Randy Orton is just Randy Orton, but it will be very interesting to see you next week when Randy Orton is in the building for the first time ever with Roman Reigns in 18 months, how they're going to go about that. And even though it's more unlikely than likely, if CM Punk does choose to sign with SmackDown, he'll be on SmackDown next week. But, you know, we're mostly in agreement that he's going to end up signing with Monday Night Raw. Yep. But I would do that tease. I would sign him with SmackDown and then have him go to Raw.
I mean, it makes sense for Randy to fight Roman at the pay-per-view and
Royal Rumble,
and to lose to Roman at the pay-per-view, and for them to just start talking this shit now because they still have story from when Matt Riddle was around. Now, clearly, Matt Riddle is not around anymore, but, you know, I'm sure they'll figure that out.
And shout out to him because he did give credit on the interview to Matt Riddle, giving him some respect. So that was a thing. And congratulations, Matt Riddle. He just had a child. I told Bad Guy Jack about this like last week or a week before. 'Tis the season for kids, right? And wrestlers, right? Alexa Bliss had her child.
Carmella
had her child. Tay Conti had her child.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like somebody else. I said Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Tay Conti.
That was so great. We're talking about kids, and Vic is like, "Oh, I don't want to hear this shit." It's just that yawn said it all. Like, please don't spread that in the air for me.
What do you mean? I just got married. It's my time. It's time to start having kids.
All right. Go ahead, Vic.
From the conversation we had in pre-production, don't you feel like you might be a little too up there in age to have kids?
What you talking about, man? I'm the man. I could be pushing out till I'm 70. As long as my swimmers is good, I'm good to go, baby.
Okay, well, the way you sound like your swimmers aren't, you know. Something to water for kids these days.
That's because I got a bunch of stripes of wisdom over here, and I remember how to use a typewriter, and I remember a rotary phone.
What the hell is a typewriter?
You have kids. You see what I'm saying?
Bad Guy Jack, you are not that young. Stop.
See how these youngins don't know about these things, man?
He's not that young. Why?
You know what? You know what? We need to finish this show because I got a couple letters I got to write.
I got it. We are done. I want to finish this. I want to finish the show because my ass is tired. It's tired of sitting.
We are done. That was the end of Raw and SmackDown. Real quick, we'll start with you, Bad Guy Jack. What grade would you give this week?
It was a great time for wrestling. Oh, you talking about letters and grades, or am I doing the belt thing like Mike did?
No.
Okay. It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed Raw. And I feel like we both are in agreement because we talk a lot, like you said, off air, right? Raw, the biggest problem is always 3 hours, but they do have some great things. SmackDown, I step out a lot on Friday, so I miss it. So I'm able to catch on the segments. But from all the stuff that I saw, it looked like it was a great show. So, yeah, great stuff.
LA Knight's in a very tricky spot right now. You now have people questioning if he should be a main event player and his hype is real when you have heavy hitters like Randy, Seth, Cody back. Main event, Jey Uso, in my opinion. Vic, you're great as far as Raw and SmackDown this week.
Well, listen, man. In the era of the game, the show is just getting better and better and better. I'm very happy that I buy $5 of stock of TKO every week because this, and I'm probably going to do that for the rest of my life, and it'll probably be more over time. But the point is just that this company, because of the people that are in charge now, is just going to get better and better and better. The tribute to the Troop show was very nice. I mean, personally, I prefer them going out and being in front of the soldiers and doing the whole thing. I thought those shows were better. But because of the logistics, I get why they do them the way that they do now. But overall, just like, this week of wrestling, and I think for the rest of the year is just going to be very interesting with everything that's happening. I think that, man, being a wrestling fan now is going to be more of a privilege than it ever was. I mean, I feel that way just being a New York wrestling fan because we're spoiled. We get it all of the time, right? But just being a wrestling fan in general and understanding what's happening in the story and be following the storyline is going to be a privilege. Like people that watch like, those stories that have been going on for 40 years. Like, what is it? What is it? The thing that you watch? What is the show? General Hospital, I think it is. Like,
General Hospital is a show that comes on ABC at 3:00 Monday through Friday.
Yeah, you see, like people that know that story. You know what I mean? Or like people that have been watching The Simpsons since the 80s. Like, it's just a privilege. It's a privilege to be a fan now because the story is just going to keep getting better and better because wrestling is the never-ending story. It's the never-ending movie. It's awesome. Anyway, I'm done with the rambling.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with Nick Aldis simply because the fact that Adam Pearce is always constantly running backstage and in the middle of trying to break up fights and stuff. That's all that's what Adam Pearce is better for. Nick Aldis doesn't do it as much. He seems to have better control over his show.
Oh, wait, we're picking which one is better? I didn't know we were doing
No, it said who has the easier job as general manager, Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis running things? And I said Nick Aldis. Outside that RKO thing, he's been pretty much in better control, I feel, with Smackdown, where every time I see Raw, somebody's getting attacked backstage, and Nick Aldis like, get him out of here! No, get him out of here! No! And then you see all that. Yeah.
I feel like Adam Pearce has more name recognition still,
Well, yeah, because Adam Pearce was an authority figure. People don't pay attention. Adam Pearce was an authority figure since 2019.
Yeah.
Right. Since when he first came over, everybody's like, who the freak is this guy? Right. They took a while to get used to him. And then,
right.
But he never really did anything too memorable. But now that he's just simply Raw general manager, I think it does help him. But I need to see more of him in. I started to tweet this, but I let Bad Guy Jack do the tweets. But he was out last night anyway. I wanted to tease everybody who always says the brand split is coming to an end. Yeah,
who said that?
People always say that at least once or twice a year.
It's not coming to an end. They don't do a good job on really making this a thing. Like how we mentioned earlier, Cody was there on SmackDown for what? Why was he just randomly there? But to sit here and say that it's coming to an end, you're drinking too much. Shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to I thought Raw SmackDown was very good, but I said at the beginning. That brings us to the end of this.
Hold up. You don't want to do the discussion, or you want to just end it?
I mean, we're at hour 58. If y'all want to do it real quick, we can do it. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, we already said we're going to do it. We don't lie to the people here.
If you are in WWE, you have the entire main roster at your disposal. We'll start with you, Vic. You have the entire main roster at your disposal. Name your top 5 baby faces in order from bottom to top.
Top 5 baby faces. Okay, from bottom to top. Let's see.
The entire roster outside part-timers. So no Brock Lesnar, no Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
You said baby faces, right?
Top 5 baby faces.
I'm confused. Roman's a baby face?
Let's see. All right, let me think fast. All right, number 5, I want to say Sami Zayn. Number 4, Jey Uso. Number 3, Rey Mysterio.
Both. I mean, all three brands.
All three brands. Okay.
Mhm.
Dang. So I got to switch up a little bit.
I mean, it don't have to be NXT. It
Because
could
all right. Next is basically LA Knight and then Cody Rhodes, right? Because those are the main guys that I'm thinking about. Yeah, because Cody Rhodes is definitely the main guy. But because I don't necessarily count CM Punk in that because he just got, you know what I mean? So because he's just CM Punk is just over in the wrestling world, period. But as far as his in WWE, as far as the stuff that he's done, I don't count him as far because it's too soon. So right now, I think the most over guy is between LA Knight and Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is a lot more over than people think he is. He really is.
Oh, so you mean they're not shitting on him?
I don't know. No, I don't think they're shitting on him. I mean,
no, I know, Vic. It's just you're so smart, and I just wanted to see that smart brain. That's all. Because I like being around smart people.
Okay, what's he making a point of? Like he's making a point of something else that happened, isn't he? Right? Is that what you're doing?
The AEW commercial that was shown.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Me?
No,
why would I do that?
Now, I understand why that guy feels that way because, like, he's one of those people that's probably a mega Cody fan and wants to see the American Nightmare and get the custom American Nightmare belt with the matching T-shirt and the matching socks of the American Nightmare family.
Matching socks.
This is an interesting. Well, Dan the Man, his favorite wrestler is Cody Rhodes, and he disagreed. You know, he said that he has no direction right now. Jeffries is an interesting one, and I'm assuming this is an order from number 1 to 5. Jay, Sammy, Cody, LA Knight, and Trick Williams.
I like that.
Whoop that trick.
Whoop that trick. That's great.
Yeah, Trick Williams is getting there. You know what I mean? And they doing a little thing. I mean, look, I really think that they're doing a Shawn Michaels. I think that they're going to do a Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty.
Trick Williams, Bianca Belair, and Kevin Owens.
That's interesting. Kevin Owens.
Oh, the women too.
That is so interesting. Because I mean, I respect the list. That's great, Kevin Owens, because you know I would have put Sammy over Kevin Owens because of just his run and the reaction. But Kevin Owens is a really good pick.
Who gets the biggest pop out of the girls? I don't know.
I would say Becky.
Bianca. You take Becky? I was gonna say Bianca.
It's still Becky. I still think it's Becky.
Yeah.
Okay. From my time of being there this year, all the wrestling events I've been to, I feel like Becky still gets the biggest one, and I disagree. It should be Bianca, in my opinion, but I think it's Becky.
Oh, but wait a minute. We didn't even mention Seth Rollins.
That's what makes this thing because they have such a great list and everyone has such a fantastic list.
See, a year or actually for every year, I feel like in the past 20 years or so, it's always been an easy who's your top 5. And I feel like this is the first year I could think of because I remember I think this time last year I thought WWE was very heel heavy. Definitely 2 years ago, very heel heavy. This
but now it's babyface,
when they're very babyface heavy.
That's why when I look at this list and I'm seeing people like guys are mentioning Trick and I'm seeing LA Knight, and I think the fun thing about this because LA Knight was on such a trajectory where he was skyrocket, but then you have the returns of Punk and Randy, and I am going to count them on these lists. And I said, well, that slides him down a little bit because so for me, it was definitely number 1 was going to be Cody, and then I had a hard time after that, like. Well, okay, Cody's number 1, then who will I go after? And even then, I feel like my list can always change. So I got Cody. I'm going to go with Randy because he's wrestling right now, so he's still getting a thing. I would have had Punk in my number 2. I know I want Jay, Sammy, and the last few I can interchange, and the last one I had to think about because it just changes everything now. But those are like my 4. On my list.
So now let me ask you this.
You have the questions.
We're talking about if we open it up to just wrestling in general.
Sure.
Right? Do we add MJF to this?
Who's LA Gears? Is that a video game?
MJF.
LA Knight, he just doesn't like all
Maxwell, Jacob.
No. I wouldn't even
Hey, listen.
MJF,
man.
No.
Listen, better than you, baby. Was one of the hottest things of the year. Listen, the booking that they're doing with this kid is good. That's all I'm going to say. And this guy, there's a lot of sweaters in the field. There's a lot of, the guy, listen, man. He's got 2 belts. He's MJ 2 belts right now. And, bro,
Honestly, can we be
why
honest?
does he have 2 belts? I don't understand.
Yeah, I was going,
that.
and not even just that. Right, that, but also too. Let's be real. Is anyone clamoring for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships? No one came for you, Otis. Sorry.
I personally think MJF is the devil, but that's just me.
I think that's on purpose. I'm curious to see if it's.
Jim Cornette might agree with you, EC.
I'm gonna go with my
strong.
My top 5. My number 5 was LA Knight. Actually, number 4 for me is Cody Rhodes. A little bit down for me, but higher on y'all. For my 3, I think Jey Uso is more over right now than Cody Rhodes. I really do. I'm not saying that Jey Uso should be the man that goes against Roman at WrestleMania. I think it should be Cody, but I think Jey Uso is more over. Number 2, I think, is Randy Orton. He's the man. And you put Randy Orton against almost any of these guys I just mentioned, I think more people cheer for Randy Orton. And then number 1, right now, just simply because of social media, I will go with CM Punk.
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to last. I think a month from now, this is going to change dramatically.
It's the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon phase.
Right.
It's the honeymoon
I think
phase.
CM Punk is going to be the quickest to decline, especially when he finally goes up against somebody who would have made the top 10, because I still think he's super, super popular. I just don't think he's anybody's favorite wrestler at the time. Now, listen what I'm saying. I think everybody likes and respects Seth Rollins, but I don't think he's anybody's favorite wrestler at the time. But I think Seth is going to get CM Punk down a lot. Let's see what we have here. And the fact that he's 2 belts has made people sour on him. Funny enough, no way. I listen to the reactions whenever Jay or Cody comes out. Cody clears. I think when they first teamed together, it did. I think when Yeet became super over and more popular, I think Jay took it. The Monday Night Raw, and we can ask Steamin' Willie Beeman if you can find him, where they were in DC and Steamin' Willie Beeman came out, was there. I think he would tell you that Jey Uso was
there he is.
Than Seth Rollins. We done? We good?
I guess so. Everyone's staring. I'm confused.
No, I said my piece. That's all.
Oh yeah, no.
But like
unreliable sources.
It's okay, but it's all right.
He's on the same thing that Bad Guy Jack's on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching us. This has been a fantastic episode. Please make sure that you watch us every single Tuesday immediately after NXT, where the Great Grand Slam Puba as well as Dahlia Dark talk about NXT immediately after NXT. On Wednesday, join Dan the Man and the newly hired by Great Grand Slam Puba, Vinny, as they talk to you about AEW, joined by sheriffs once in a while. And then on Thursday, join UPR as we talk house party this week for I Love 90s review. Do we have a UPR battles this week? I know we don't have a trio.
No.
Great. Next Saturday, join myself, Vic, Great Grand Slam Puba, as we bring you Unpopular Review Wrestling show. Yeah, we'll be on there for that. And
no, I want to spend my Saturday saving New York for once. I have Spider-Man 2, and there's a lot of stuff I have to do there. So no, you won't be seeing me there.
You have the whole week to do it. We'll talk about it later.
No, we won't.
Make sure that you join us the Thursday after next as we have our Unpopular Review Awards, Unpopular Review Wrestling, Unpopular Review Entertainment. Looking forward to that. We're going to come out this week, and I'll be showing you all the.
Well, someone has been reading the memos.
Stay tuned to our social media as we reveal the categories as well as the nominees for that. Looking forward to that.
Great.
Join us tonight during NXT Deadline as we are going to have a watch party starring myself and whoever else is going to choose to be on with me. Immediately after NXT Deadline, join Great Grand Slam Puba and Dahlia Dark as they bring you the NXT.
Oh, shit. There's a show?
NXT Deadline review show. And apparently we're going to have an AEW Collision show immediately after AEW Collision.
I'm saying
looking forward to all of that. Thank you so much. Great show, guys. Thank you. Great show, everyone. Also, make sure that you are subscribing on all podcasts to the Big Pop Theory podcast. It's a great listen starring Great Grand Slam Puba as well as Captain Shay Sawyer. And the unofficial camera woman and her YouTube channel is that's probably going to beat us to get to 1K, I bet you. So happy for her, happy for everybody and everything that they do. Thanks so much for watching us. For Vic, for Great Grand Slam Puba, I am the executive consultant, and we will see you later tonight for Unpopular Review. Good night, everybody.